Welcome everyone to this week's Time of Countdown. I am your host, Intel, and the one with the skeleton playing the trumpet is my good man, Alianos from Geometric, who is assistant manager.
Hello there.
The
It's
one to
me.
my bottom left, I think it's a Morgan Freeman choke holding a dog, is Dragon, which, if I am correct, a main support for EM.
Yeah, hi.
And all the way down to my bottom is Lanix, I hate the fact I don't know your role, but you are on SBC.
That is correct. I am team captain of SBC.
Absolutely goated. And this week we had a pretty interesting time, I'd say. A lot of the scorelines seem to tell a different story than what the matches had foretold. And I think that's definitely going to be interesting, the fact that we're going to be going over them. Because obviously the first match was Wisdom versus Geo, which Wisdom won 3-1. Alianos, your manager, you give us the glasses, because obviously I think the scoreline did not reflect the kind of intensity the matches had.
Oh my. Yeah, really good game. Fun. I like a roller coaster of emotions, I'm not gonna lie. First map wasn't really close, Wisdom kind of rolled, but at least, what's his name? King's Row and the other map were really close. Rialto, I think, yeah. No. I think we won Rialto. I don't know. It's been a long time, okay? Like 2 days. No, like Wisdom played really well. I think Geo put up one hell of a fight. We came out short in the end, but really excited for the rematch in the playoff finals, of course.
That makes a lot of sense. Do you guys have any opinions relating to that match?
I think you're right. I think the match was like a lot closer than the score lets on, because the score only shows like the end result of each map, but each map, well, most of them at least, were well played by both teams.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I'd say, especially on King's Row, I believe was the second map or third map or someone played. I thought Geo looked very strong, and like I think they didn't cap final point, but like it felt like one of those maps that could have gone on for a very long time. And they looked very strong overall in every map. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Definitely if the games were a bit different. Well, not different. I feel like we guys had more prep time. It 100% would have been a lot more different. And on the bright side, at least Corbs told me to put 3-1, so I now have one of the first ever perfect predictions of my life. So
Yo,
I'm pretty
congrats on
proud.
the whole
Oh, thank you. And then after that, we had Edinburgh Monarchs versus the Hyperflex game, which, okay, was a surprise. I will first-handedly sit there and say I was eating and I started choking because I saw the scoreline 3-2 in favor of EM, and honestly, can I get a bit of information? The mic's in your face. I need to ask, well, what did Hyperflex do? Like, what's your thoughts, Mr. Dragon?
Yeah, so going into this week, we were expecting, it's Hyperflex. I mean, this is like the easiest game of our lives. Like, there's no way we're losing this, right? And first map, like a complete like roll. Like, honestly, we felt super confident on Lijiang. We played like our best Overwatch, peak EM, I'll tell you. Second map was a bit closer. I believe it was King's Row. Yeah, we won that 5-3. They had a way better attack than we did, and a pretty good defense too. Yeah, they were like, especially on defense, it seemed like they were way more coordinated at first. Then obviously in overtime, we kind of just got like momentum that we had been lacking, and we pushed it. Like, I think we were 2 meters off, and they never capped the map. They never capped first point on their second push attempt. What was after that? Oh my God, Rialto. Yeah, Rialto was another map that just was a rip for us. Again, very close. shout out to Empty from us because he played really well on that map, and that was also the only time he played. But his play that map was really just overall great. It just came down to them having slightly better ult management. Let's see. Then Hanamura was just a complete and utter mess. That's the only way I can even describe it. There was literally nothing positive about our attack or defense on that map. We were extremely disorganized because we had just lost a map to Hyperflex. Pretty boomed, honestly, overall. I think the general team morale was just not great at the moment. And also, we chose Hanamura, which was just like, okay. I still don't, like, personally, as someone on the team that chose the map, I don't understand it. I never will. There's definitely other maps that I thought we would have picked over that, but we chose it. We ran it. It went not great. Yeah, and then Busan was again a very strong showing for us. I think we kept both the city one. I don't know the name. The shopping one. And
Downtown?
Yeah, downtown. Thank you. And the shrine map very quickly.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, Sanctuary. Yeah. We again felt very strong. Felt very good. I have to say, just overall, this is not the same Hyperflex that we have seen the last 4 weeks. Every position feels way stronger. Yeah. That's really all I have to say about that. I mean, like every single position, even the 2 players that have been there the 3 players that have been there the whole time, basically, like everyone performed just a million times better. It felt like they were an actual team. They felt very organized. Both of their off tanks, Blitz and Killswitch, played really well in my opinion. Like they were 2 very decisive players, like that won the maps. And almost honestly, Blitz had huge plays on King's Row that like definitely contributed to their momentum on attack and defense the first time around. And yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alianos or Lennox, do you guys really have feelings on towards that?
I think the reason that Hyperflex has done well with that game is because they had some good pieces like earlier, and they didn't really have great synergy to like pull it off, even though they usually ran like some more cheesy stuff. But I think that the additions of Blitz, Kill Switch, and Almighty Gong over time really started to mold the team together, and putting Chef back on his more comfortable role, so that he's not playing Moira. That definitely really helped, and their support line has always been decent in my opinion. So I think with all of that slowly coming together, the stars kind of aligned for Hyperflex to give EM a really tough fight.
You know, that was actually really more in depth than I expected. You know, cause oh wait, yeah, Alianos?
Okay. Like, I do think that Hyperflex has been improving a lot over the last 2 weeks. I mean, they rebuilt their whole roster practically. I think they have like 2 players left, or is it 3 now? I don't know.
It's 2 from the draft, 3 from week 1.
Yeah. So one of their advantages coming in is that no one really knew how good they were or what they were going to run with their new roster. The addition of Gong, for example, really allowed them to just like expand their hero pool a bit, allow them to run more comps than they previously could. That was like the biggest pickup in my opinion. Of course, the Bligma, I guess. Really good game though.
Yeah, you know, I at least for me, I've been slacking on Hyperflex, especially during like last week and the weeks after. It seems like a reflection of season 2 with their management collapsing, players leaving, switching. It just didn't look good. But honestly, I think Chef has brought Brazil around.
He has done it. He will get his win, I think.
I hashtag give Chef his win. That's all I'm saying.
Hashtag.
I mean, like with this team, he absolutely deserves it. They're good enough, I think.
They're better than
the majority of the teams in Novice right now. Like in a close fight, I think they can beat a lot of teams right now.
They're OTW in week 2. They have their pieces. They just haven't figured it out completely. But on to the last game, because speaking of OTW, we are talking about them. And this match was specifically against SBC, which ended in a 3-0, but there was one draw, and the winners obviously were OTW. So, Lennox, what were your opinions going into the game and such?
Well, going into the match, since I became captain, we initially had like a lot of internal issues that we needed to work out. So like, I was really hands-on with working with staff to fix those issues. And I think we're making a lot of progress, and I'm really glad that we were able to come together and give OTW a decent fight, and even take it as far as to draw a map. Because on both what was second and third, the Kings Row and Dorado, we played really, really well, and it definitely could have gone either way. And the fact that we had potential to take it to a Math 5 if we fixed some of those minor issues that we got coming towards us in in the middle of the game, then I think we could have definitely had potential to beat OTW, and I look forward to our future matches.
It's very wholesome. The Dragon and Alianos, do you guys have any opinions on towards that match?
Yeah, so personally, I thought that this map was pretty messy on both sides, to be honest. Obviously, OTW did walk away from this with a nearly clean sweep if you ignore Kings Row. But Dorado was really close. That went into an extra round, I believe. I think they finished 4 or 5 third. And neither team really looked too strong on either Volskaya or Kings Row. It was kind of a mess from a lot of places, in my opinion. I mean, I know SBC has, as Lennox literally just said, a lot of internal issues. I think that was pretty evident when we're watching the way things kind of panned out for them. Yeah, that's really all I got on that.
And anything?
Yeah.
Okay, Alianos.
Hey, don't ignore me here.
No, I'm sorry. It's the ping, man. It's the ping.
Okay. So yeah, I think OTW looked the worst they've had in a while. Might be because they had some of their main support, or their flex support, missing. And
Yeah,
then,
they had Phantom Flex missing, yeah.
And then we had V2 traded over to them for a day, and he overslept, so that was pretty pog. So probably a little messy. They hadn't scrimped with that lineup specifically. But SBC put up a really good fight, and I can respect that against OTW, because OTW is a really good team.
Yeah, that is true. And at least V2 is learning from the management of Geometric in the sense of oversleeping, Also,
Hey.
I realized I forgot to say the player of the matches, so Acri will probably be firing me. This is the last paycheck I'll ever get. obviously, I'll go over those real quick in a kind of speed round. So for the Wisdom versus Geometric game, Zorthcon was the player of the match, and Titanic was the honorable mentions. Any comments towards those?
Deserved.
Yeah, that's really not surprising at all. I mean,
in my opinion, Zorth is the best player in Novice.
Oh, absolutely, clutch factor. It's just a clutch factor.
yeah, I think that's definitely a strong argument. There's a strong argument for him being like just top overall.
Yeah.
Next up is EM versus Hyperflex, and for that it was the king, the myth, the legend himself, the main tank god, the Merlin, and as honorable mention, it was Young SYU, not pronouncing it.
Yeah, he pronounces it Youngsu.
Oh, thank God, Youngsu.
Merlin is the best team in Novice.
Merlin
My
is the
favorite
best team in Novice.
Yeah, Merlin. You see, I see no issues with that.
Also, like, I think a lot of teams like have underrated Youngsu in the early weeks, but like now they're starting to see that like on Sombra he can really mess with what the enemy team is trying to accomplish.
He's so powerful, he hacks the router.
I find it kind of funny with him because you look at all the power rankings or whatever the hell, and he's always so low. And then like I guess this is probably from a place of relative bias because I am his teammate, but just playing with him, he's such a fundamental like piece of what makes us work. Like as a team, his Sombra play is so good. Like he is one of the, if not the top Sombra in Novice in my opinion. I don't know. We really haven't like as a team faced any Sombras that have held much of a candle to him. Gone gave us a run in a bit, but I don't know. I feel like Youngsu has been very, very, very solid this entire season.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I'll agree on that, but I don't think people have been necessarily sleeping on him. When he came in and played the Sombra, everyone was kind of like, why was this guy on the bench? Why did they do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been popping off consistently, and I think he's earned that honorable mention definitely.
Yeah. And for our last game, we had OTW versus SBC. For the player of the match for that one, we have Mello, and then for honorable mentions, 360, which is a recurring name when it comes to the debates for player of match. Any specific feelings towards these? Just kind of ordinary, or?
That's interesting. I'll say. I don't know. I think that could have gone to majority of the members on that team. I feel like everyone played at the same level, except for maybe was it Big whoever the flex support was played a little bit like under the rest of the team in my personal opinion. I would probably have given it to Tree over Mello, but I think they're pretty interchangeable honestly for this week.
I mean, we got to give some love to the main supports here. Mello is making a push to like be the top two discussion for main supports in Novice right now. Geekake is a tough nut to crack, but he's trying, man. He's trying his best, and we can see it in the player of the match, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think once you start becoming smarter, at that point, Geekake has really fallen down the radar. It's not the smarts that got Geekake up, it's genuinely just the mechanics. But with all that said and done and me trash talking my friend,
just doesn't die. That's the problem.
I will send you a clip.
Survivability is incredible.
It takes a good blacksmith to craft such a fine weapon of not dying. It's the most powerful weapon in Overwatch. But we are going to be going on to predictions after, not after anything, but we're going straight on to predictions. The first game for the Swiss week is going to be a bit interesting. We just got the rosters, like the match setups. We're going to be having Wisdom versus SBC. I said a 3-0, Dragon said a 3-0, Lennox obviously can't vote, and Aliano said a 3-0. Now, what's your feelings with these 3-0s? It's just, are we just sleeping on SBC, or SBC, how do you feel?
I think that there's there's definitely a real possibility of a 3-0. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But we've got some things in the works, and if it goes right, I think we can take a map.
Yeah, I almost put 3-1. I'm going to be honest, because I mean they just picked up Savage Kidney, or that's his name, right? Or Savage something. I don't know.
Yeah, Savage Kidney.
Yeah. He's a really good main tank. Like,
Yeah, our tank line has been like really fluctuating way too much, and to finally have like Ghost Turtle, who's like kind of consistent, and every now and then he makes a really good play, and then now we have Savage Kidney, who's who I've played with him in internals a lot, and he's really good. So I think our tank line is now starting to really come together.
Like, I'll be honest, like part of the reason why I did put 3-0 is just due to the fact that I think consistently every single week SBC has had the weakest support and tank lines. I think Savage definitely is bumping up that tank line significantly. I don't know if it can counter how Florida's been playing as of late, because it really like hasn't been great, to be honest. And I think SBC support line still needs a lot of work. I think Bediza shows a lot of promise, but I don't know exactly what the situation with main support is, to be honest. Like, Chicken's a great BAP, but everything else is kind of a mix. Shadow Void, I think is his name, is very average to below average from what I've seen. DPS are very solid, though. I don't think you can really make much of a complaint about Lanix or Eidolon on SBC. I think both of them have been consistently doing their jobs quite well. So, yeah.
And what about you, Mr. Alianos?
I just don't see Wisdom faltering there. Wisdom's play is too clean. There are too few weaknesses to exploit in general. The way to beat Wisdom currently is just to be better than them, as stupid as that sounds.
No, yeah, like, I think it's more to either outbrain them or a mechanical level.
Yeah, that, like, it's hard, yeah, but they have crazy players on the mechanical side. They have really good teamwork. So I just don't see any team beating them until like maybe late in the playoffs, when people had like weeks and weeks of daily scrims, you know. So yeah, SBC could take a map. I hope they do. I don't like see people getting like basically no map wins, but I think it's a 3-0.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is crushing. And when it comes to the analysis and community, there is a high level of agreement, more than any other of the matches, which, again, it's a bit unfortunate, but I think this just shows, like, where SBC is now, and then, just like Hyperflex, we'll soon be seeing a massive change in them, where they'll just feel so different. For the game after that, we're going to be having Edinburgh Monarchs versus Hyperflex, which...
Again.
Yeah, again. So, obviously, I put a 3-1. Lennox put a 3-1. And, Alianos, you put a 2-3. Well,
Yeah.
Why the 2-3? You think Hyperflex are winning?
Yeah, okay, I had to put a hot take in there somewhere, alright? I think Hyperflex have the backwind right now. They have the mentals. They just took EDM to 5 maps. They know they can do it again. I think they can do it again. And in a different universe, hopefully this universe, I don't fucking know, it's gonna be a 2-3 in favor of Hyperflex. I just think their mentals are high right now. Chef is doing a really good job of rebuilding that team, of pushing them to be their best, and I think they can take it.
You know, that's very heartwarming, but do you guys think Alianos is smoking too much?
Here's the thing with EM versus Hyperflex. So Hyperflex, they're on the up, definitely, and their recent game against EM, I think, impacted EM very much, and it all comes down to whether whether EM panics or they really analyze why they lost and then like learn how to crush Hyperflex in every way. Because it's definitely doable, because Hyperflex still isn't like where they need to be. And I think EM definitely should be able to take Hyperflex, but then again, it could just straight up not happen. But I have faith in EM. That's why I put 3-1, because I'm pretty sure Hyperflex is still gonna take a map.
Mr. Dragon, how do you feel? You know, you're going into this game. You just barely narrow them. You're gonna become more prepared, right?
So I'll start by saying this. I have to say, as a team, we are like the polar opposite of boomed by that, by losing 2 maps to this team. I think all of us are kind of ecstatic, because if you're looking at Hyperflex, the last 5 weeks, it's been a shit show, like completely. And they are assembling a team with a lot of players that we're all friends with, because I mean half of their team was on EM at some point. Killswitch, Blitz, and Bishun, all are great guys. Everyone else I know on that team, they're great people. We're very happy for them. And we know what we did wrong. We know what they did right. We're looking into it. We're analyzing it. We're choosing what we need to do, what we need to work on. No one on our team is feeling unhappy by how close that match was, because there were a lot of points where I think both teams played really strong. It's one of those matches where you look at it and it kind of just shows you what you're doing right and what you need to work on. And I think it's like the perfect kind of match, if that makes any kind of sense. I think we're doing really good here. And I hope Hyperflex is the same, and I really hope for another good, fun match on whenever we play them.
You know, that hits just right here, you know, right where the heart is. That's very wholesome. And, you know, I do think EM are going to win, but, you know, we'll just have to see. Hyperflex seems to be bringing in some changes. I just wish the best for not both teams. I wish the best for you guys to be able to either crush Hyperflex or Hyperflex finally getting that win. And for our last game of the Swiss week, for next week, not the last of the Swiss week officially, don't take that word for it, check the schedule, not my problem, is Geometric versus OTW, which I put in a 2-3, Dragon put a 2-3, Lennox put a 3-1, Alianos put an A, obviously can't vote. So, Lennox, you're the only one, you know, out of us two who's not putting the absolute crushing defeat of either a reverse sweep or just like a tough game for the side of OTW. Why do you think Geo are going to win?
I think Geo's going to win because their DPS line, I think, is a little bit better than OTW's, and as long as they don't really, in my opinion, the last match with Geo and OTW was not really well organized on either side, and I think that Geo, with their tank line, with their DPS line, with their supports, they have a lot more. They have the ability to beat OTW pretty easily, but I'm not expecting it going to be easy, which is why I put the 3-1. And also the Prince Zexu versus me matchup it's pretty iconic.
And Alianos, before I want to hear your opinion on it, Dragon, how confident are you in your score prediction?
Oh, I'm not at all. I had 3-2 Geo to start out, and I'm like, no, I'm kind of actually feeling OTW, because last time they played each other, I know Geo won, but on almost every map, OTW just looked stronger. They just felt stronger, and that's in part due to the just absolute heroics of Blue Jay, who did play his fucking mind off that match. That was he played fantastically there. But I think OTW right now, with their full starting 6 roster, no more Big Hoot on Flex Up or whatever that was, with Phantom Flex in, I really think they can give Geo an absolute run for their money again. I think Tree is on the rise right now, especially with his Sombra. He's just slowly and like steadily improving. And last time they played SDA, who's been like obviously this great player for Geo, had a really, really, really tough time. And I have a feeling that might end up happening again, which could in part lead to Geo's downfall, even though they undoubtedly have a stronger, I would say they have a stronger tank line, and then support are pretty equal. I don't know. I think it will be a very interesting match. Definitely going to be like the match of the week or whatever, but it's gonna be a fun one to watch also.
And Mr. Alianos, you know, obviously this is, at least for me, going to be deciding who is the number 3 or number 4 on my power rankings. It's always hard to pick between you two. So what are your feelings?
I mean, personally, I do think we're gonna win this, but OTW is not a team you can ever sleep on. 360 is insane. Again, Mello is taking up there. The tank line of OTW is really, really strong. I just think we beat them in the neutral game, and we've been obviously grinding pretty hard to secure that 3 spot. I mean, we're talking about the 3 spot. We want the first spot, right? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna go, but I'm pretty confident that we can take it.
No, yeah, I agree. I forgot to say this for the EM part, but the analysts and the community are in high regards, about a bit over 50% for both people in EM's favor of winning, and when it comes to Geo, it's a lot closer. The analysts are basically fighting each other to stay on 50% if you guys are winning or not, but the community seems more in your favor, and honestly, I'm giving OTW a bit more love, because I just feel they've been struggling a lot. You know, I want to throw in that hot ball. I've always been, since the start of the draft, an OTW fan, but, you know, I am looking out at Geo. Like, I'm more scared of Geo than anything. But
why? We're
why?
so wholesome. We're so handsome. We're a boy band.
You are, but you do have the hottest player in the league, Rim Jazzberry. Twitch.tv, Rim
all the
Jazzberry.
hottest players in the league. You just don't know yet.
That is true. You know, we have a rating, a tier list for the hottest players, and all of Geo are there. But I do feel we have talked about everything, especially for the recaps. I thank you all for joining me in this week of Novice Countdown. Obviously, you can check out the rest of them, as they should be coming up whenever this shows up, normally on the the Saturday that this happens. No, Friday, yes. But thank you for watching.
What's happening, members of League Zero? I am your host, Grifkin, and welcome back to the Week 6 edition of the Intermediate Countdown. We have a few new guests here, and a returning guest, actually, so introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey, I'm Goostuck. I play main support for Cap.
Hello, I am Phone. I am the Flex DPS player for Mob Mentality.
Hello everyone, I'm Wana. I manage MI6.
Yeah, guys, so we do have Phone returning as a guest, and welcome Goostuck and Wana to the show. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the weekly recap, and the first game we had 2 weeks ago was Content Credence versus Capitalism. Of course, we have a Capitalism player here with Goostuck. Before I ask you questions, I just want to say Content Credence kind of threw map 3 and 4, but I want to get your opinion first, Goostuck, on what happened in this
I don't
game.
want to talk about it.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to talk about it here.
Okay, so, listen. Okay, this is going to sound really toxic, but imagine is throwing his brains out.
Damn.
Okay, but actually, like, we straight up, like, what's it called? After we speed ran bench, we kind of got cocky. So that was like a down to earth match.
Mm-hmm.
We just signed a ton of new players, so we're rotating them in and out. We didn't know what starting roster we wanted to put into the match, so kind of unlucky there. But we figured it out on map 3 and 4. We put Rock and Gress back in. It's kind of bug after that. The map 5 we kind of inted, along with content inting 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, I know Content Credence barely won, but this game must have been a big morale boost for them. This team came in 0-3, just like the bench, and they ended up getting a win. And this win not only makes them a better playoff contender, but actually makes kind of the whole league around open up a lot more opportunities because when you look at the standings right now, Capitalism drops 2-2, Content Credence is 1-3, and with Obligation at 1-3, there's a very good possibility now that Content Credence, if they can finish off these last 3 games strong, they could actually make that top 6 benchmark. So, Phone and Wanda, I just want to get your opinion on this. I want to get your opinion on this game from a spectator's perspective.
I think that them winning against Capitalism to me wasn't the most shocking thing in the world because basically what everyone, including myself, was saying is that they were 0-3 to go into this game. No way did they deserve that record. They just didn't because they had 2 map 5s, and in week 1 they were down like 2 or 3 players and they still won a map against Guangzhou, who's now the second team in the standings. They got their first win. Happy for them. They were able to prove something by getting that win. They're looking good in the standings. You know, they are 1-3. They only have a -3 map differential, so that will be good, especially for this like end of season push for playoffs. And yeah, I think that they look better. I think that this team could be a lot better if Vantage didn't fuck them over by ghosting and quitting. But I think that this team, if they can add some pieces somehow, maybe start up some trades or some free agent signings and just be a good cohesive unit, this team could move up in the standings really quickly.
Definitely. Wanda, what about you?
Yeah, like Phone, I would agree. I think that Content Credence has generally played better than their record suggests. They have gotten unlucky in a lot of ways. Repeat on main tank for the first game of the season. I do want to add, though, I think that, in my opinion, the Vantage situation is almost a blessing for them. I see Bard pound for pound as a better player than Vantage. That being said, I think the road only gets harder here for Content Credence. Content Credence having lost Tyranitar, a very good main support who got moved up to Advanced, and Kishot now being suspended for 2 games. I think puts them in a really, really big disadvantage, especially as a 1-3 team. And personally, I would not be surprised if Content Credence was unable to recover from this or would end up missing playoffs.
Fair. But I think generally this does give Content Credence an extra push, and hopefully they can translate that in the next few weeks. Moving on to the player of the match was Steady State, and honorable mentions were Poofa and Repeat. Congratulations to those 2, they played outstanding. The next game of the week we had was Mob Mentality versus DC, and despite the last map, this game was very dominated by Mob Mentality the whole series. Of course, you have a guest with Phone here, so Phone, I just want to ask you, what were your expectations going into this game, and does this result surprise you at all?
It does not. I believe this result was, I honestly thought this is how it would turn out, and it did. We were much better on meta versus them. You mentioned the last map was the only map that was close, and the reason why is because like I'm not. First thing, yeah, we went off the meta, but then also one thing that I got absolutely surprised about is I forgot the elevator change went through, so our entire comp is have the high ground advantage, and the elevators just just take that entire advantage away.
Yeah,
so
I want to ask you, like, okay, I know I'm not in the SR range of you guys at all by any means, but did you guys practice the strategy coming to this game? Because from a Spectre perspective, it looked kind of lackluster, your Mercy's End composition, because it looked like Red Knight was playing his Winston as aggressive, if not more, with the Mercy's End.
I mean, I think what generally happened in that was we were able to get a lot of damage off, and before they were able to push in, or as they're pushing in, so that would lead to aggression by Red Knight and the rest of our team. But especially on Hollywood second, we kind of just got trickled out and died. But then once we just swapped to the Shadow Dive, and they, no matter what comp they were on, they couldn't do anything about it. So if you know, like after that second point on the first round on our defense, after we stopped the Shadow Dive, we like barely lost a fight. Like we may have lost 1 or 2 fights the rest of the map. Yeah,
definitely. That was your bread and butter, and you swapped to that one. You did get a little bit nervous.
DC didn't have Kate. They're probably not going to have Kate for most of the season because Navina's in here. Navina's taking the starting spot from them. I think it may have been closer with Navino actually being able to play in that game, but he couldn't because he just got signed.
Who was the off tank playing for DC?
TIE Fighter, who is now on content Credence.
I was gonna say he did not look strong at all in that match. He looked okay on the Sigma. He looked pretty bad on every single other hero besides that. Yeah, I really want to say this is it's kind of like sad that DC kind of has ended up in this position. They went from they went from an unstoppable juggernaut, starting off 6-0, and now they're 2-2 with with barely a positive map differential, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I feel like the loss of
it's simply just like they had two really bad teams in the first 2 weeks, and they got you have to admit that Capitalism was bad week 1.
Bro, we sucked, yeah. No,
yeah, exactly. But they basically got 2 free wins off those, and everyone hyping them up because they also won SMI. Everyone was saying they're the best team, and guess what? Their strategy, I'm gonna say it again, they've won with Kate in on the Zarya, but now with Navino in and kind of fixing that team from what has happened this past 2-3 weeks, I think that they'll do a good job without having Kate in now. I think they will most likely rebound against who they face Content this week. That'll be a good match because Content also wants to prove that they are top tier. But yeah, I just felt like we just played better than them as a team and individually, and the score was not surprising.
Definitely, I have to agree with you on that one. Wana and Gustav, do you have any opinions on this game?
Don't have your hard carry, you lose games. To be honest there.
I think it's just mob mentality. This is one of the hardest working teams I've ever had the opportunity to meet. I know I'm not an active coach on the roster, but just seeing how dedicated they are to the game, how hard they strive to improve is just insane coming out of them. So I do feel like they deserve this win, despite the fact they didn't have Kate.
The no coach strat's working out.
Yep.
Yeah, we've scrimmed mob a couple of times. It's always pretty close. They're pretty good. They're very good.
Yeah.
I'm the best coach on mob mentality. I just want to say that. But going on from that, the player of the match was Kilroy.
Do you mind if I?
Oh yeah, Warner. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry. I was gonna say, I agree with Phone. I think mob mentality is pound for pound a better team, and I think that they have proven that, and I think that a lot of the expectations that were set for DC haven't really panned out, and I think that goes back to their draft strategy. They drafted heavy tanks, and invested a lot of resources into tanks, and now that Kate can't play, their strategy is sort of falling apart, and you sort of see that with because they invested so heavily in their tank line. In my opinion, I think some of the rest of their team doesn't look as impressive to me. Starting with their support line. Their support line, I think, is pretty average, and their DPS line, I would also say, is pretty average. And so, when you invest in that and it doesn't work out, I think that this is the results you're going to see. On the same note, that's a question I have for Mob Mentality too. Mob Mentality looks really, really good on the Shadow Dive. And obviously, Phone being the first overall pick, lots of resources were invested into their DPS line. I would be very interested to see how Mob Mentality performs in a non-Shadow Dive meta. Kilroy, in my opinion, is the best Sombra in the league, but are his other DPS up to that same level? How will you adjust Phone?
I don't think you just win games though. I think their comps will be pretty good. I'm of course only guessing, but.
We'll have to see.
Wait, can you say that again?
I assume your comms are also pretty good. If you're going to be the best, comms.
We'll have to see, and I think that a little bit there are some concerns there with Red Knight playing very aggressive on that Winston on the Mercy Zen comp, and Silent Sword I think is a very good main tank, but he's mostly known for his Rhine, and so I think that meta changes might shake up the current hierarchy.
Which is also just kind of unfortunate for him that we have. If you look at our team, we have a backup at every position. We have at least one backup for every role. We have a backup tank in Silent and Maverick, who is kind of more just like a ringer, less of a player. We have Z, who is doing, like, even though he hasn't played a match yet in scrims, he's been doing phenomenal. So I thought it was also good as a backup player. Then we have Gumsas, who doesn't make a lot of stuff, but can definitely sub in if needed. And yeah.
Alright, fair points, fair points. Moving on from that, the player of the match was Kilroy. He played outstanding on a Sombra. And all our mentions were Red Knight and Phone, so congratulations, Phone and Red Knight there.
Thank you.
Guangzhou, the next game we have of the week was Guangzhou Gangsters versus Obligation, and to nobody's surprise, Guangzhou Gangsters ended up winning 3-0. We don't have a Guangzhou Gangsters representative here, but I feel like this game just speaks for itself. Obligations on the down, while Guangzhou Gangsters keeps going up.
I mean, ever since... When was the... Sorry, I forgot. They won against the bench early, right?
The very first
Yeah,
week
they
they won
did,
against
yes.
the bench.
And then who'd they go against next? Was it us?
It was
It was MI6.
yeah, wait, who?
Six.
Oh,
MI6
Guangzhou.
played them second week.
Oh, okay. They won
You're
that
talking
or not?
No, we
Are you
won
talking
that.
about Guangzhou or the bench?
No, Obligation faced Capitalism next week. They lost to Capitalism.
Oh,
And
okay.
ever since then, they've kind of been down, and I feel like the biggest reason is because Squirrelben is playing the Reaper, and I don't want to talk shit or anything like that, but Squirrelben is a sniper specialist, and there's no other way around that. Okay, as soon as you put him on something else, he's not gonna play.
I mean, in our
Astro.
match, they played Sombra Widow against us on Busan downtown. Okay, this is gonna sound toxic, but you're trolling if you do that. Like, there's no way you can counter meta by running Sombra Widow.
I know.
It's just straight troll. Like, I don't understand. I never understood that. And again, we all had the VODs available to watch, and I know probably all of us watched them. Their comms are not clean, to say the least.
That's a fair point. And yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, some of the comps Obligation were running were so strange. I think at one point they ran Brawl with like Soldier Echo.
They're running Comfort, not what's good.
Here's a question for everybody. Is Obligation that much different from Guangzhou? Guangzhou is also known for running really weird comps and...
No, but Guangzhou, like, I feel like they ran more viable strats, and along with that, even if they were off meta, they seemed more composed and had teamwork.
And also the Go Goose.
Yeah, there's counter meta, and then there's just troll. I feel like Guangzhou might be edging into counter in the meta a bit, trying to like run Comfort while also trying to run it against the current meta. I just feel like Obligation runs whatever they're feeling right then. There's a certain amount, like with Great Cup and Ana, right? So we could run Ana sometimes. We could afford to. We didn't do it often because meta is just oppressive. But it's like if you want to, you can. If someone's really feeling something that day, you can run that hero. But I feel like Obligation just picks their comps based on like, oh dude, because the guy says, I'm feeling Lucio today. Or sorry, I'm feeling Mercy today, guys. We should play some Mercy comps. Like it doesn't feel like they go into anything with any practice.
And that's oh sorry,
Okay.
phone. Go ahead, phone.
I would say that Obligation drafted a team, and they are a team that is not good at the meta, and I think that they've tried to play meta too much. They have not improved on it this season, I believe, at least what has been shown in the results in matches. I think that they should stick to like the Ashe, Mercy, whatever comps they like to run, like the weird comps, because that was a lot more effective, especially on maps such as Volskaya, than them trying to run meta, where a better team is just going to be better than them.
I will say, I expect, and like I mentioned earlier, I think at this point CC would be lucky to get into playoffs. And I think that if the meta changes, Obligation could be a very dangerous team. I think they have...
I doubt the meta changing anytime soon, brother. I'm gonna be honest, and these recent patch notes will make no, really, the meta's still gonna say Winston Sombra dive.
Well, first off, I would disagree with you. Meta's already changing. Ball Diva is very much in vogue. Echo Tracer is now very much in vogue. And it's trending more away from the Shadow Dive, so I would disagree with that. First of all,
I think the meta is shifting towards Echo, and also lower healing compositions like the Zen Mercy are also becoming more popular, or even Zen Brig is being run in contenders right now.
yes, exactly.
With Echo, like low resource DPS with low healing, and just dive. Like, it's called. I learned this a while ago. It's a saying that I have. It's you don't need healing to win Overwatch. Win in Overwatch. If you have more damage, you don't need healing if you just kill them.
But also, yes, I know Mercy Zen is a very good combo. Mercy Zen is also played in the very top level. There are multiple people in advance that cannot execute Mercy Zen to the level that is required. And personally, I don't think it's honestly doable in intermediate. Like, I do think momentarily did show signs of the Mercy's End showing promise, but I haven't been convinced yet to actually see a team pull it off successfully.
It's also very viable to swap the Zen out for Ana. Then you have enough healing to, in order, again, for our lower skill ceiling, in order to understand and run. And
But
I think it's.
I do feel like in this elo, and even in higher elos, I just feel like the sustain war with Mercy, no, not with Mercy, more Lucio is just too strong for a lot of teams.
Yep.
That's fair. I'm just saying I wouldn't count them out based on the amount of skill that these players have.
So I do think they should. Yeah, I think they should definitely stop running meta. They always run something similar to it, except they like swap out a pick or two. I think you've one trick like you could run the Echo if you want to, like the Echo Mercy, like the Ana or the Zen. Did honestly anything to recover that season, man. Jeez, it's been rough ever since the bench.
Okay. So we're kind of running. We're kind of going to talk about this game a little bit, so let's just move on from that. The player of the match was Clue. I do believe he played the Reaper in the DPS, if I'm not mistaken. Another mention was Greek God X, so congratulations to you guys there. The last game we had 2 weeks ago was MI6 versus the bench, and I don't care what anyone says, this is a dub for the bench, okay?
I agree.
This is, like, let's not even talk about MI6, boys. The bench got a map win, okay?
So MI6 didn't beat her on 8% run. That's depressing.
So I know you're in this game, but how does it feel? Does it feel a bit bad that you gave the first map win to the bench?
No, not at all. We're just happy to win this game. You know, I say this to all of my players. None of these teams are going to make it easy for us. All of these teams want to win just as much as we do, and you know, yeah, sure, map differential matters, and it matters to us in our playoff run. But at the end of the day, we got the dub, and you know, I'm proud of my guys.
Fair point. Fair point.
I
So Wanda and Phone. So actually, I'm gonna ask Wanda this first. Wanda, do you feel like the bench surpassed your expectation, or did you just feel like this was just business being done how it is?
I think the bench are a little bit better than most people give them credit for. I think they can make games more competitive, and I think they're growing as a team. And you know, in fairness to us, I think that we ran out with 2 players who had never seen match time before, and maybe have had a little bit of nerves, and so we were trying to get them some work, and we were trying to get them some time in a match that we thought we were favored to win. And so, yeah, we lost a map. Obviously, you know, we're not happy that we lost a map. We want to win every map we play. But at the end of the day, you know, I think, like I said, we're super happy to get this win, and I think it positions us well going into playoffs.
Fair point. Phone and Goose, what do you guys think went well for MI6 or the bench in this situation?
I think, well, I'm gonna say this outright. I agree with Juana's point that the bench is better. That the bench is better than what people give them credit for, because I also think that if you guys heard like what the Shock did for the grand finals, they basically only practice control and hybrid. Control and hybrid, because those are the only 2 map types they need to win to actually like win the entire thing. And I feel like the bench kind of did a similar thing, but specifically Lijiang, because in our warm up we warmed up against the bench before DC, and I'll be honest, the bench gave us a harder time in that one map of warm up scrim than DC gave us the entire series. Like, wow. The bench actually was able to mirror our comps and do good. Like, they almost took Lijiang off us in the warm-up. They already took Lijiang off MI6 in the game. But after Lijiang, then MI6 kind of got back into gear and just won the next 3 maps. I do think bench are better than they gave credit for. But this match specifically, I think that even though they only won 1 map, it still proves a point that there's some type of hope in that team that something good can come out of this.
Yeah, fair point. What about you?
I guess I'll go here. So, honestly, in my opinion, they run a map that's like amazing, but they're giving off like Shanghai Season 1 vibes. Like, if you're gonna have a chance at making playoffs, which you have like a very little one by now, you gotta do something big. Like if they took control off them, but you know, like Florida Season 1 won control a ton. I don't see a chance in the bench making playoffs. Still trying to cap play, that might be a bit rich. But you know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think the bench is going to make playoffs, but it does at least show some light in the tunnel. But I am proud of how the bench took a map. They surpassed my expectations. I don't know about yours, but yeah, I'm definitely congrats on my 6-3 win and the bench taking their first map win of the season. But going on, though, the player of the match was Remy, and the honorable mention was T-Zen. Congrats to you guys. But going on to the prediction this week, the first game of the week we have, it's going to be Capitalism versus Mob Mentality. We have two representatives here from one for Capitalism, one Mob Mentality, but however, me and Juana both think Mob's going to win 3-0, with the analysts and community having Mob win over 90%. So first, I'm going to ask you, Phone, how are you preparing for Capitalism? What are your expectations going into this game?
Preparations, exactly what my expectation, I should say, is what Juana and Grape, you guys predicted. 3-0, that's my expectations. Our preparation for this game is to keep practicing what we're good at, and to experiment on certain maps such as Gibraltar, such as Hollywood, where you're able to run more comps that vary from the Reaper Sombra, which from in scrims has worked to very good effect.
Alright, fair. Likewise with Goose, how are you guys preparing for this game?
Honestly, we're just gonna run it down in scrims. Kind of what we've been doing. Just figure out what we're good. And again, we're gonna same thing we've done every week. One trick meta, run it down, then win the game. Honestly, I don't know when you guys are gonna have to learn. Literally, like, what you guys picked us an obligation? Like 90% of you said we'd lose. Come on, man.
Something like that.
Season dubs as usual.
Alright,
I mean,
so
I really love the content.
Same thing with MM in like the first like 2-3 games of the season. Like
Yeah.
no one thought we were good, and then
Yeah, I mean,
we just
honestly,
played well.
yeah, just gotta teach them. Again, they're gonna keep sleeping. We're gonna keep winning, so it doesn't matter.
I do want to say that I did have faith in Mob Mentality in the early season. But other than that, Juana, what do you think Mob Mentality is going to win this game 3-0?
I think they're just pound for pound the better team. I think their tanks are better. I think Red Knight has really stepped up. I know that, we personally were a little surprised to see Red Knight taken so early at MI6, but I think he's really stepped up, and he's been a great player for the team. I think the DPS are pound for pound better. I think Phone is the early MVP candidate. I think Kilroy, like I said earlier, is the best Sombra in the league. To be honest, I think if Capitalism tries to force meta mirror match, they're just going to lose in that meta mirror match. MM is just probably, in my opinion, the best team in the league at it.
I think I disagree with that actually, because I think Gress is kind of a cracked out aggressive player. He just plays aggro and doesn't really care. Rockcraft, the guy should have won MVP against Obligation, not gonna lie, but he's nuts. Can't miss a DM shot in his life. I mean, Shinx just gets a pick every fight consistently. I think we're pound for pound the same. It just comes down to who does teamwork better. I know it's a hot take, and especially coming from a Cap player, but I think we take these.
Stop capping.
Yeah, I would say stop the cap right there. I think Mob Mentality is going to take this one easy peasy. Probably going to get a speed run over
again. Honestly, I don't mind doing it again. I don't mind running it back with like the 90 to 10 odds. I'm fine with it.
Alright, fair point. Moving on to the next game of the week, we have Double Cap versus Content Credence. We all think, actually not all of us actually, so me and Goose both think Content Credence are going to win, while Juana and Phone both have DC winning this game. Goose, why do you believe Content Credence is going to win this game?
Maybe it's just because we lost to them, but also it might be a bit rough. Even if they do have their hard carry back, it's gonna be kind of difficult. People have sort of found out how to play the game after the first couple weeks. I feel like their strategy, and Flaw said this too, it works week 1. Like, actually, your strat only works when you have like the elements of surprise. Now people can prep for Zarya. It's easy. Just bait out the bubbles and kill her. He's relying on double bubbling early each fight, getting 80 charge, and then just winning. But you can't do that every week. And now you just took a fat L to Mob Mentality. You're 2-2. You're an average team. I think Content takes this.
Alright, fair. So I want to ask you, Phone and Juana, why do you guys think DC is gonna win this game despite having a rough last game?
I think that DC is pound for pound still the better team, and the reasons I've said this a couple times so far tonight. I don't think CC makes playoffs anymore. I think that with their shot being out for 2 games and he has 1 game remaining, that's their in my opinion, their best DPS down. And they also lost Tyranitar, and I think Tyranitar was one of the top 2 players on their team. And I think without those players, it's going to be a really big struggle. I mean, and not to take anything away from DC, I think Divino is an above-average off-tank or flex tank for this league. Tyler is still a very good main tank and has shown that. I don't rate DC's DPS super highly, but I also don't rate CC's DPS super highly right now either. Where I think the biggest difference is I think that DC's supports are actually going to be the better support line in this matchup. Coming into the season, I was really high on Kenobi. I thought he was a really good player. And I think that he's been a difference maker on DC as a flex support. And so I would overall give the edge to DC here.
Fair point. What about you, Phone?
About this game?
Yep.
I mean, I believe the 3-2 can be close. Content is hurting after losing what the players that they have. DC now has Navino back in them, even though I've heard from people on DC that there has been some shit happening in scrims. Won't say what's been happening. But I do think that Navino should be able to rally this team around the comps that he wants to play and just be able to help this team a lot. Especially since Kate will not be playing over him.
Fair point, fair point. I think Content Credence will just win just because DC hasn't been looking the strongest, but I do feel like it could go either way. Going on to the next game of the week, you have Obligation versus MI6, and of course you have an MI6 representing Wana. So Wana, I want to ask you, how are you guys prepping for Obligation, and what are you guys' expectations going into this game?
We've been doing our regular prep. We scrim 4 times a week, and even in the bye week, we got a lot of extra practice. One of our coaches, Sev, put together a special scout team for our team to play against, and I was really impressed with the results we saw. We were playing against a lot of advanced players, Ryu, trying to think who else, Silver Star, people like that, and I think that we held our own and we got better throughout the week. As for Obligation, I think that we are focused on them, but we also are keeping everything in front of us right now. We know that Obligation is a must-win game for us if we want to get good playoff positioning. Obviously we know. I think everybody knows that Obligation has had a lot of struggles with the meta, and may try to run stuff that's not meta against us. So we're just keeping our eyes in front of us and trying to get as much work in scrims as possible.
All right, perfect to hear. Phone and Goose, why do you guys think MI6 is gonna win this game in a dominant fashion?
Why I think MI6 will win?
Yep.
I think that Obligation, certain players went off that team. I think that if MI6 is able to play the meta, they're just gonna be too good, I guess. Like, it's not really much else than just playing the meta better than other people. And since Obligation is probably the worst team at the meta, I think that there should be not really a question as to, in the pure meta, 1v1, like Mir, MI6 will just win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Goose, do you have any thoughts on this game?
Yes. Okay. So let's set up if I'm Obligation here, I don't take the meta, dude, no matter what. Like, you're trash at meta. Stop playing it. Stop forcing it. Play some Ashe. Play some Sig Hog. Play some Disruption. If you want to play some Ball, you can sprinkle that in if you want to. It's not great in a Sombra, but whatever. Just, don't take them head on. You're not gonna win. Like, you're not good enough to win. Let's just put it straight up. And if you prove me wrong, I'll eat those words. But like, you have to play off meta. You can't take that duel no matter what.
Fair point, fair point. And yeah, I have to agree. I just feel like Obligation just isn't that good anymore. They haven't got a win since week 1. They made it competitive versus Capitalism in the second week, but ever since then, they have been struggling. I just feel like this could be the MI6 show all around. But going on to the last game of the week, we have the Bench versus Guangzhou Gangsters. We all think Guangzhou Gangsters is going to win. I have a 6-0 for Guangzhou Gangsters. But I want to ask you, Phone, why do you think the bench will even take a map?
I think that bench are playing better. Same thing with what I kind of said for MI6 versus Obligation, and especially what I mentioned earlier with bench being good on meta, especially in the mirror. If Guangzhou tries to play the mirror against the bench, they may get surprised, especially since the DPS line of Guangzhou isn't the most highly touted, and in my opinion, the most highly skilled in comparison to what other teams had, including the bench. I think that they could be surprised in at least one map of the series, especially if it goes to Lijiang in the beginning.
Yeah, fair point, fair point. Goose and Wana, why do you guys think Guangzhou Gangsters will take this in a strong 3-0 fashion?
Don't pick.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Don't pick Lijiang. And easy roll. Team's basically Novice. Like, come on. I actually don't think they can take a map here. They have mechanics, and I don't know, they should. I know that if they've one-tricking meta, how are you supposed to go? I don't think you can go blow for blow with these guys. They're gonna probably just out macro and out mechanic you. It's nothing.
Yeah, fair point.
It's nothing
I
you
agree
can
with
do.
you on that one there.
I think, for me, I definitely see Guangzhou taking this. I think they are the better team. Guangzhou, as we all know, likes to run a lot of Ryan Arisa, a lot of Baptiste. And so I'm interested to see the answer the bench comes up for that sort of comp and for that sort of play style. But really, to me, the question I have for this match is, how do the new pieces of both of these rosters integrate? How does Feifels, who I believe just got signed to the bench, will he be a difference maker for the bench? Will he be able to make the bench a more competitive team? And for Guangzhou, it's Great Cub going over to Guangzhou in sort of that three-way trade between MI6, Capitalism, and Guangzhou. And I think Great Cub is a really good player. He's very mechanically talented, and I think that he provides a really veteran presence for this roster, and I'm really interested to see how he integrates himself into Guangzhou.
All I gotta say about Grey Cup is just don't put the man on Moira. He'll probably be fine.
Yep, definitely. But I think we can all agree that Guangzhou will take this pretty easily and have it in a dominant fashion. Does anyone have any final statements about this game or just the games in general?
I think the closest game of the week, in my opinion, will be DC versus Content Credence. I think that's the one to watch.
100%. I feel like, yeah, that's definitely going to dictate like whether DC is actually going to make the playoffs or not. Because if Content wins this game and DC loses, the standings are coming way tighter. I think they will both be 2 and 3, and DC actually may or may not lose their positive map differential. So that'd be definitely a game to watch.
And that one is probably be good.
But I think we can wrap it up. Does anyone have any final statements?
No. So actually, good luck to Mom Mentality.
Good luck to Cap.
And hope you all take the 5-map loss pretty well. Just saying. Okay, that's a joke, but like.
Alright, well, I think we can end it there, guys. Thank you guys all for watching the Week 6 edition of the Intermediate Count. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And be sure to tune in next week for the Week 7 edition. See you guys.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Countdown. I was on break last week, I guess. I did do something, but the file got corrupted, so I'm kind of sad about that.
What did they all say?
Yeah, okay. Well, but either way, we're going to be covering the games from 2 weeks ago and doing the predictions for this week's game. So yeah. Obviously, today with me is Triggered, Hypnotos, and Sevdonum.
Yes, it is.
Hello.
So yeah, we'll just get underway for the recaps. So the first game was Tokyo Drifters against Kingdom Come. Tokyo won 3-0. The player of the match was Apple, and the honorable mention was Asajun. Yeah, this is just a 3-0. I don't really remember that much. It was kind of.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was kind of close on King's Row. That's all I remember.
Trigger, did you guys have your starting roster for that game?
We
We didn't have our starting roster.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a weird.
It was weird
lineup.
because I was gone for 4 days before the match, and then Giz was also gone for the 4 days before the match. So we only had like one scrim on Monday. I knew we were gonna lose. But like I don't think we did too bad, honestly. But that's just me being ego.
I think it would have been closer, but like I think you guys would have lost. Sorry for talking over you. A bit.
Our lineup was really stiff because Cuppy kept on saying like, "Hey, just run what we scrimmed." I'm like, "Dude, we scrimmed on mystery heroes." So I told him, "Map 3, I'm making the subs," and then we made the subs and we still lost, which is unfortunate. But you know.
Yeah, that match didn't show much for Tokyo because like Kingdom had a roster that scrimmed once apparently.
Yeah.
Not even though on Monday, the day after the match, we scrimmed with like the starting lineup, like what we were gonna run, like what we played versus Bark when we beat them. And then after that, Giz is like, "Hey man, I've got a hockey trip," and then I was like, "Oh no, I guess I can't play anymore either." And then we scrimmed once with Mani. Mani played more maps in scrims this week than I did. So you know,
Mani isn't on your team, right?
Yeah, Mani's not even on my team. So
Mani got sent to Brazil. Rest in peace.
Man, we sent so many players to Brazil.
Oh yeah, also Ryu was playing, and then like Ryu.
Yeah.
said he was banned.
Dude, rest in peace, Ryu.
Yeah. But the next game was Platchat against Epizeuxis. Platchat won 3-1. The player of the match was Ensu or Gil Gamer, and an honorable mention was Ryanos. That was kind of an upset, to be honest. I'd have to pull up the sheet, but I'm pretty sure.
I'll be honest. As a player for Platchat, the match was a lot easier than I expected.
Wow.
I'll be honest. Epizeuxis put up much less of a fight than I thought they would.
Okay, because Epi fucking sucks.
Yeah, for a hot take, I think Blossom's a lot more overrated than people think. When 4 came in, they look a little better. But I don't think Surmi is that much of a detriment to their team, or as much as a lot of people will say.
Yeah, I'm the common theme for a lot of the Epizeuxis games is people saying our 4 looks better than Surmi. So maybe.
I got the juice. Don't even worry, man.
Oh.
I got the juice. That 4 is playing off tank in our match.
No way. 4 plays off tank.
I also think that they're what? Wait, no. I also think that No You fucking blows.
Wow.
Wow.
I think No You blows. I think they do better with Surmi on main tank.
Okay. After I've played with No You on Michigan, No You just needs to keep his mental up, and he'll do really good. Because No You, like...
Yeah, he's also mechanically subpar.
Yeah, No You did not look great in our game.
I think the issue there was just a lot of team not being very nice to each other in that game, from what I heard.
Yeah, that's
from what I literally know, there was some internal problems.
There's
yeah, I feel really bad for No You because I feel like people shit on him a lot, but after playing with him, he's really, really not that bad. There are just times where you need to like point him in the right direction, and he'll like do it.
I don't think he's a bad person. I just don't think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, No You. I want to kiss you sometimes.
Huh?
He's
9.
He's 9? Oh.
Oh.
Also,
he's not 9.
I don't know that. Also, from what I noticed, I think the team, not that Surmi's Diva has improved a lot from what I've saw and from what I like just know, but I think the team still plays better with 4, just because like, I think he knows how to play Diva better in this meta, and he just like works better with No You, I think, than Surmi.
Yeah,
I feel like
agree with that.
Yeah, No You and 4 seem like they're on the same page, but then No You and Surmi always seem like they want to do something else. Like they always want to, you know, like they always don't seem on the same page.
I don't know. I think Surmi, No You likes to play fast. He's very aggressive, but then Surmi likes to play. And I feel like Surmi doesn't like. It's not slow, but it's not fast. It's kind of like this in between that he likes to play. And I think just 4 is also pairs better with no you.
I feel like if you put no you maybe on another team, I think you'd see a lot more success. I just don't feel like, as you said, his playstyle doesn't really match up well against Epizeux's, and making him play slower just kind of like isn't as good for him. It's like
I feel like no you would do well in Michigan. Not Michigan. Sorry, Overcharged. I'm tired.
yeah, I agree. Actually, I think
Is like on Michigan, a lot of the time I just kind of told no you what to do, and he did it. And we worked well together because I just pocketed him. He got to do his thing, so I think he'd do well on Overcharged.
No, basically just a Renter Arrow duo, but 7 no you. I see.
Man, also he's like really good for a team too. He's just like super nice.
yeah. I don't know why people are so mean to him. It's kind of.
I feel really bad because like sometimes you can tell people are just way too mean to him.
No, yeah, people are way too mean to him.
People are way too mean to everyone.
There's a very underlying toxic, I guess, mentality to this league, and it's kind of bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that comes mostly from like the players that were in Novice with him that don't like that he's higher up than them. I think for me and Trigger, it's not like we don't like him. I at least like know you. I think Trigger does too, but I just think he's not up to the level as like the highest main tanks in this division right now.
I mean,
man, I wanted to trade for no you, and Surrey said no.
He isn't awful. He isn't an awful player, but
I think he has a lot of confidence issues.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's playing with him. And like being on a team with him. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever been on a team with. So, I don't know. I just feel really bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay, back to
yeah. Let's move on to our next game. We've been on this one for like 5 minutes. The next game was
special.
Yeah, our next game was Overcharged against Powerhouse. Overcharged took this one 3-0. Player of the match was Central. Honorable mention was Romy. I'm gonna be honest, I barely remember this game. All I know is that Overcharged just basically rolled them.
Powerhouse doesn't exist anymore, so
Powerhouse.
There's not much to talk about with them.
We'll talk about Powerhouse later.
Thumped.
They did indeed get thumped.
Powerhouse, never heard of them.
Thumper played pretty well that game. So.
Coach Thumper, Pog you.
OC definitely played well. Like, it wasn't just Powerhouse being complete dog shit.
Yeah, the team, I don't know, when we're not playing meta and like we can let our tanks play more comfort picks and stuff like that, and we can let Central just kind of do his thing, you know, what's going on. Like, we do a lot better. Half the time Central just says, I want to play this. We're just like, okay. Sebastian is quite inspirational.
I'm interested in Powerhouse though, because I
we'll talk about them later, 100%.
No, man, I really want to talk about that because this is the topic that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I think
Overcharged break them though.
With the OC game, especially when OC is running off meta, and Powerhouse is like kind of a team that's falling apart, and they probably haven't scrimmed much. Like, trying to beat off meta when you probably practice meta the whole time is really hard. And Overcharged is really good at off meta. I think they're the second best off meta team after Tokyo.
Yeah. They Overcharged is a very, very. I guess they have a very diverse hero pool. It's very. Their games are usually
or they're
very
just bad at meta.
That too.
That's acceptable. Just shit talk us.
It's just the truth. I'm sorry.
Man, you're not wrong. We are pretty bad at meta.
I mean that there's not much to talk about there. Now, our last game, Hangzhou Bark against Vertigo. Hangzhou Bark won 3-1. The player of the match was Smile. Honorable mention was Painless. I mean, who really won this here? Who really won this here?
Okay. Everybody, I hope everybody fucking knows that I'm not a big Hangzhou Bark fan, but putting that aside, Hangzhou Bark fucking blows, okay?
Yeah, Bark looked terrible.
Who really won here? Who really won here? Hangzhou Bark or Vertigo? Vertigo managed to take a map off of them.
Cannon made sure Cannon played really well.
Yeah, he put them on their back.
This game could have been way
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cannon was phenomenal.
Cannon doesn't know what D.Va is. I think he has like less than an hour on her in total, and he still had gold damage for the majority of the map he played.
Yeah.
They had a puppy dash.
I was actually having some conversations with Sherlock. Yeah. And I was talking about how like he had like he had good players. He has good players on his team, but he just can't put it fucking together, man. Like you have Chuggy J, who's supposed to just be God on Earth, and then Acid, who's really good, and then he's picked up a Silver Star, and Silver Star is good, and then they picked up Cosmic Salmon, and I've heard some shit about Cosmic Salmon. All right,
yeah.
so
Gods of FA.
Gods of Free Agency. I heard that he's a Genji one-trick playing Zenyatta for them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I'll
Which is
share my
really
opinion.
interesting.
Because last countdown got corrupted, and I was on it, and I kind of trash talked Chuggy J and Acid a lot. So I'm gonna go back on that because I want to bring that up. Chuggy J and Acid are probably like the most disappointing DPS duo in this.
Yeah.
Or in the division at least.
I don't even think they're that bad though. I think it's mostly just because they're hyped up so much.
Did you watch this game?
Acid a lot.
They did really bad.
Yeah, they did
On
do
meta, at
amazing.
least.
But like also when they're hyped up to be like deities and like just whenever you're in their field of vision, you instantly die in real life. Like, of course they're gonna disappoint.
They're getting beat by the legendary DPS of Vertigo.
Laser and Bobby Shawarma.
And Commander.
Bobby Shawarma.
Now I will say,
Junkrat.
Laser, Vertigo didn't force Laser on the Sombra. They played him on Ash with the Mercy Pocket. He actually looked decent.
Yeah, he did look good.
Okay.
But I will say, Hangzhou, Chuggy J, and Acid, just in my opinion, they were really, really good in Horizon League because they at least had pretty decent surrounding pieces for most of the season. Yikes had, what was it, Platinum Bow and, who's their flex support? I forgot.
Me! It was me!
Oh, yeah. It was Zatanna. Yeah, they're very decent supports. Platinum Bow's a really good one now, but most of the season in Horizon League he was pretty average.
We want to discuss their ranks.
Obviously in the double shield meta was a very. Okay. In the double.
Taco Truck never even really surrounded his DPS.
Well, Taco Truck sucks. Taco Truck sucks. We're not talking about him.
No, we're just talking Taco Truck.
We're shit talking
we're shit talking Taco
What is your
Truck.
problem?
Yeah,
We are shit talking the god of Sigma backlining. We are shit talking the god of Sigma backlining. But you know, OO was very good in a double shield meta. I think they just got hyped up because they played on a team that the meta fit their playstyle well, and they popped off in. This meta, not so much. I think this meta is one of their weaker ones based on their hero pools. You know, it just doesn't work for them.
Oh, Vertigo. I heard they picked up a player called Steak. I heard good things about him actually. Like I heard from Ryu and Money saying that like Steak is actually like a really good DPS player and like he could fucking carry them.
I mean, they sure do need something.
They have Cannon.
Yeah, they do have Cannon.
Cannon, man.
Cannon unironically looked really good that game.
Oh no, Cannon was down and out the best player in that whole lobby.
I don't get how he's never played Diva.
Man, Michigan Warriors Hoggo TP goes to her League 0, plays Diva, gets MVP.
He's literally odds of learning a hero in 5 minutes. He learned Zarya in 5 minutes in the first bench game.
Jesus Christ.
Now,
Zarya wasn't that bad.
No, he literally looked up a Zarya guide. Yeah, and Mihir was like, bubble this, and he's like,
was it Karki, man? He was like Karki gods of
Karki taught me, Lucio. That's why I'm good.
No, Mihir was like, okay, Cannon, when No You go in, bubble him. He's like, okay, I got the guide.
Oh my god.
You can just hear CarQ in the background. All right, I got this. I got this.
I think it was a joke, but it was still funny. I assume that's how he learned Diva too. He pulled up the CarQ guide.
Oh my god. One tip for every character on every map.
Alright, so onto our predictions. The first game, in my opinion, the best game of the week is Tokyo Drifters against Platchat. Me and Hypnotos obviously can't predict them since we're both on their rosters, but Triggered predicted 3-1 to Tokyo. Sevdonum predicted 2-3 to Platchat. 100% of the analysts predict Tokyo winning.
They need better analysts.
Yeah, and 55% of the community predicted Tokyo. I will say, I think it'll be a close one just due to the fact that Tokyo doesn't have Ranter, and Ranter's honestly a very, very big part of the team.
I still think we could beat him with
Here's
Ranter.
Here's my armament. Wait, can I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my counter argument to that. Moira is meta.
True.
It's Moira meta.
True.
You put Dempsey on Moira, there's literally no difference.
You could put,
Yeah,
you
but I
could fucking put
assume
me on
Ranter-
Moira. It's like,
Ranter, I know for a fact
Yeah.
Ranter can coach, so like I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. I think
Yeah.
Acapella, he could teach him more in like 3 seconds.
I think that like Ranter helps back, like not in game, like early game, you know.
Yeah, Ranter really helped their mentals as far as I know, and Dempsey coming in may or may not have hurt that a little.
I got some
Also-
juice on that too.
Yeah, I don't want to go
Build
too
Build
deep
the
into
juice
that.
on the floor, then
I
mop it
don't-
up.
I don't want to go
Yeah.
too deep into that, but
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
want to spill anything.
I definitely think Platchat's the best meta team right now, and we beat Tokyo in meta. And even in off meta, we kind of have a plan on beating them that I think will work.
I don't think Dempsey's that bad at Ana either. So I don't know anything about his Zen, but I don't think his Ana is that
But
bad.
I think Tokyo's been good because a lot of people haven't like answered to their off meta strategies, and I think it'll
Would
also
you even like consider the off meta with just like the Reinhardt comps?
no, like with the Pharah. I don't think anyone has like really found an answer to that, but Platchat, I think has.
Yours pretty
Obviously,
easy
we
to
don't know
counter.
yet, but
I think that I think that sorry, are you done, Triggered?
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. So I think that Platchat's gonna win, but that's just because I think they're the best team right now. Also, because Tokyo doesn't have Ranter. I think that like the biggest thing that you need to do to beat like Platchat is like in this meta they probably have the best DPS in advanced, I think, or second best if you like. It's two of the best DPS lines in this meta going against each other, I think. But I think Platchat edges it out. Because like Spork Sombra versus Peep Sombra is going to be really interesting. And but I think Tenek B is the better Reaper.
yeah, I think on each roles one-on-one, I personally believe we're better than Tokyo, like in each one-on-one. And Tokyo's synergy has just been better in general. But as like the season goes on, Platchat just gets better with synergy. So
I'd say Gil's better. I'd say probably Nikos is better. I'd say Peep is probably even with Victor.
that's a hot take.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
Tenek-
on Sombra, Spork is definitely way better.
on Sombra? Probably, yeah. I think
Don't
that.
even say probably.
Well, Peep's also nuts on Sombra.
Not as good as Spork.
I love Spork. I don't know. I think that Tenek B is definitely the better Reaper. Probably, I don't know about Flex Spork because it's Moira lol. And then,
that doesn't really matter.
and then
I'm not
Spork-
gonna share my opinions, but
And then make Sport. You really think a Plat player? You really think a Plat player could be the Genie player? Huh?
yeah,
Plot is better. Plot is
Yeah.
better.
that's a hot take,
better.
RMM. I'll kill you.
Huh?
Go ahead. Try and get me. My peak is higher than yours, kid. Come on.
Wait,
come at me.
wait.
Is it?
Instead of the,
Yeah,
instead of
I
the-
hit. I hit masters, dude. What?
Instead of the game, can we please just have an RMM Frogman fist fight?
Let's fucking do it.
Instead of the
Torb
game.
Hammer 1v1. Oh, there goes Triggered.
Triggered is sick of us.
It was too much for Triggered.
He got
Triggered setting it
tired of the support player banter, you know?
Triggered is setting
Yeah.
up the fist fight. Right
But I
now.
do think I'm better than Plat.
I guess we
regardless of
have
Yeah, but are
to
you
carry
better than
on
RMM?
without him. I guess.
Am
we
I
have
better
to-
than RMM? That is
Yeah,
up
no,
for
in-
debate.
in
I'm not
terms
sure
of
about
the-
that
in
one.
terms of the fist.
Oh, I got pinged. Oh no, I think I have to move him back. Yeah, I do.
Don't.
Alright.
I live in fear of RMM's fists.
There he is.
RMM's gonna break into Frogman's house and beat him to death.
Yes, I will.
If I'm not there, RMM.
That's on record. That's on video.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh,
RMM
no.
is the recording, so like.
Oh shit.
I will
cut it
delete
out.
it. I
Man,
will
Armin,
delete
can you say something real quick? I have to clip it.
it. Sure. What do you want me to say?
Forget, never mind.
Alright. Well, let's move on to our next game. Epizeuxis against Kingdom Come. Triggered and Sevdonin cannot predict on this one because, once again, they are both on the rosters. I predicted
Yeah, I
this
picked
one
them on.
going 3
Sev is
to...
on Epizuzus now.
Oh.
Yeah, did you? Thanks,
Holy
Armin.
shit.
I guess I'm on Epi.
Okay, well,
No, they
wait,
just leaked the
what?
juice.
Why did it mark you as NA? I didn't do that. Okay. Well,
You're just reading
never
it
mind.
online.
Only Triggered can't predict this one. But
Why'd you delete my
He
pred?
deleted his friends.
either way,
You moved my pred down to the
Either
Overcharged
way.
game, old man.
okay, everyone, let's calm it down. We're doing our predictions here. But
Terrible host.
Epizeuxis against Kingdom Come. I predicted 3-1 to Epizeuxis. Hypnotos predicted 3-0 to Epizeuxis. Sev predicted 3-1 to Epizeuxis. 75% of our analysts predicted Epizeuxis, and 63% of the community predicted Epizeuxis to win. Just in short, I think Epizeuxis probably has.
Triggered, I have an important question.
Okay.
Yes. Will you have your starters?
Good question.
Changing
Like,
pred?
Because I might have to change my
Good
friend.
question.
You know.
I know Giz is gonna be there. Raging, I'm gonna be there.
I'm just gonna
I'll give
say.
it a 3-1.
Hang
I'm
on.
changing my friend to 3-1.
I think I don't know actually. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So for my prediction, I just think Epizeuxis is just kind of better on most roles compared to Kingdom Come, and plus Kingdom Come has basically been playing musical chairs with their roles for a lot of their players, and I don't know if they have enough experience scrimming with those people in those roles to really, I guess, match Epizeuxis, who's been scrimming everyone on the same role for like the whole season. So
we don't have an off-tank player.
yeah.
If
too.
Kingdom can actually get a starting roster that has a little bit of synergy, I think they could take off the map. I don't think Epizeuxis is that high above them.
I don't think the roster is gonna be an issue. I think we're gonna have it's good 6 players. And I think we definitely have the better main tank. If we play for the MTD, we win automatically. I think we're better in 6 positions. Just the ego check. Just the ego check.
Which MT are you referring
Better in
to?
all 6 positions. What?
Which MT are you referring to being better than Know You Man?
Giz is a better Reinhardt than you because Giz is OH Cloudy apparently.
Giz the Ryan is quite inspirational.
Yeah, his run is good.
He likes to flank Shatter a lot, which I found is interesting. So, no, you better fucking check your backline, man.
Are you guys playing Slimo again then?
Are we playing Slimo? Yeah, I think so.
I decided. Sounds pretty good. I don't know. I think Epizeuxis still wins this because individually they're better. They have players that are really good, like Blossom, Ravioli. They have some of the most individually best players in the league, I think.
I don't know.
I think
Blossom's
Raging
been
has
really sleeper on Sombra this season.
I think Raging is
general.
probably better than Blossom.
I think that's meta, honestly. But I think you're underrating Blossom. But I'm probably
As someone who played him last week, his Sombra was
I'm probably
disappointing at best.
Yeah.
For real. I think the Lucio difference between Slimo. I think Slimo is really good. We haven't he hasn't been able to show off how good he is, but he's
Kern is way better than Slimo.
Kern is good. Kern is good, but I don't think Slimo is bad at all. I think he's better.
Oh
than
no,
Lucio.
Slimo is not bad by any means.
What's it? Cam versus Pixel. I think Pixel has a better Moira and Donna.
Not after last week. His Flex support was horrid against Tokyo. I want to be real with you.
Yeah, no, we had Copy Dog. We had Copy Dog on Flex support. You troglodyte.
No, last map you had Pixel in.
Because Pixel was soft going because he really wanted to play DPS.
Why did you let him play DPS?
Because we had no one else.
Good man. I think considering Kern's ult usage, if you guys can Ajax him like you Ajaxed me, you guys should win.
That was fun.
You guys also lost map to my hog, so I don't know.
Did we?
You swapped out.
I was hard locking legs in scrims.
We swapped out Striel mid map and put me in, and I locked hog and I owned.
Yeah, man. Your hog kind of hit different. Man. Tell Cannon to stop flanking on Zen.
I'll never tell him that.
Holy shit.
Honestly, but you guys can at least win a map, I think. You guys aren't that bad, at least.
I think we win purely based off MTD.
I don't know.
I mean, it's bold of you to say that when a majority of your team is either not scrimming a lot or basically have switched roles.
Oh, wait.
For real, man.
I think that you're underrating No You. If No You can, be hey, I'm not dog shit, I think he'll be really, really good. Because his mental, I think he's just boomed right now.
I kind of agree with Triggered, though.
I think if we can completely abuse the fact that we have a better main tank,
Yeah, like
And,
if you
like,
pocket Gizzed correctly, you could probably make it a much
And-
closer match than people think.
Yeah.
We don't have an eligible off-tank player, but I got a secret weapon for that.
Is it Ryu
Trigger's
on an
gonna play
alt
Arista.
account?
It's Ryu on his alt account.
Trigger's gonna play Arista, I'm calling it.
Holy shit, man! Don't leak
Mark
the
it down,
strats.
mark it down,
Um,
guys. The Trigger horse.
I've
Oh
got a
no.
secret weapon, dude. Holy shit! I still have that picture saved on my phone.
Okay, but either way, that'll probably be one of the entertaining game. Our next match is probably one, in my opinion, that won't be very entertaining unless you like teams rolling other teams. It's Overcharged against Hangzhou Bark. This time I got it right. Sev cannot predict this one because he is on Overcharged. I predicted 3-0 to Overcharged. Hypnotos predicted 3-1 to Overcharged. Triggered predicted 4-0 to Overcharged. 57% of the analysts predict Overcharge and 67% of the community. Honestly, this game, I think it's just like the only good thing about Hangzhou is their DPS line, and Overcharge matches that. So it's just like tank and support diff, honestly.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't need Seb to leak anything, but I feel like Overcharged isn't gonna go meta. And I don't think Hangzhou will either. And in the like both off meta like comps where you're relying on your DPS to carry really heavily, from the rumors I've heard, Hangzhou's new DPS is really good. They have like good off meta DPS on the bench. So I think they can at least pull out a map.
I mean,
if
all they
there's
really have
good
is
people say.
DPS. Their supports are some of the worst in the league,
I mean,
and same with their tanks.
I think that Overcharge has probably one of the better support lines too.
Yeah.
I think Overcharged is better in all 6 positions. I think Bark fucking blues.
Yeah.
I think Seth can 1v6 Bark.
All I'm gonna say is we don't really have we've been practicing Widow comps, and all I'm gonna say is Thumper Core has been support line.
Yo.
Holy shit, Sev.
Happening.
I don't know, but still, I think that Bark's kind of not underrated. I think they're like solid mid tier. I think they can definitely take them out.
Yeah.
I'm only really scared of Silver Star, Chuggy J, and Acid, and even then I'm not that scared of Silver Star. He's like 24.
Mm-hmm. I think Silver Star is gonna deadlift this team or
yeah.
He'll definitely deadlift their morale. That's what he did on Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our last game is...
Wait.
Ooh,
Let me explain.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Can I explain the reason behind why I think it's gonna be a 4-0?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the script. This is what the script says. Is that Overcharge is gonna fucking dominate. Okay, they're gonna win 3-0, and then all the piss babies on Bark are gonna freak out and then ask for a rematch. All right, they're gonna ask for a rematch, and then they're gonna play another map, and then Overcharge is gonna shit on them once again, but this time with Sev on main tank. And then after that, every fucking Hangzhou Bark player is gonna rage quit, and then this guy Do is going to go on a rant in general chat and get banned for saying the N-word.
Damn.
Wow.
Really
Okay,
that is a bold...
Trust me.
That
I had
is a
Acronym
bold
ready for me.
prediction.
Yes, that's straight from Acre.
He
I
knows
just
I've been practicing my run. I don't know. Honestly, I'm a god of 420 shatters or 480 or whatever.
420.
Well,
no, I don't. What's the one where it's like 15 360s?
It is like 180, 720.
I think no. The number. Where am I?
Where are you? You're on countdown.
Dear God. Okay, let's go to the next one. Vertigo.
Okay, well,
Why are we editing stuff in the?
let's just move on to our last game. Vertigo against Powerhouse. Probably the one game, in my opinion, that Vertigo will be able to win this season. Powerhouse also sucks pretty bad. Well, let's wait
again.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring back Triggered, but we're gonna spit roast Powerhouse here probably. So let's just start with the predictions. I said I think it'll be a 1-3 for Powerhouse. But ever since I made that prediction before they lost Ant, now I think it might actually go like 3-2 to Vertigo, just based off of how Powerhouse only has 2 tanks. And we'll get to that later. Hypnotoss predicted 3-2 to Vertigo. Triggered 3-0. Oh, there he goes again. 3-0 to Vertigo. Sev 3-0 to Vertigo. 71% of our analysts pick Powerhouse, and 61% of the community picks Vertigo.
Who are your analysts?
I have no clue.
Can I get Cannon on? Can I get Cannon on? Since Trigger keeps DCing?
I don't know.
Cannon lost some choice words.
I think we just finished this without him. But Powerhouse did just pick up Caitlyn of Seattle Battle Cattle manager fame.
Fame.
Fame, quote unquote fame.
I don't think that's gonna be enough to turn the tide in favor of Powerhouse there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this. Powerhouse's tank line currently is Grape Cake and LT Aqua, who are both basically ball players.
Grape is not playing.
Grape is not playing, so who's their tank?
Their main tank is Kit, from what I've heard.
We're waiting till Powerhouse announces me. I'm playing main tank.
Yeah, GG's. Okay, well, they have Kit on main tank, who's been an off tank for the whole season. So, I mean, the whole team is just a mess. Obviously, they just picked up Caitlyn. Kind of cringe. I don't think she's that great. I don't think she really changes things either. Obviously, I think Lilac. Oh well, they did lose Lechuga, but I mean, I thought Powerhouse would have been good. I mean, they had Akimbo, they had Ant. You know, they were starting to put things together, and then poof, all gone. But Lechuga was good on flex support. Caitlyn isn't really known as really that high of a caliber of player. In fact, I think most people would rate them very low, actually. You know, Lilac's been good. I think Lilac and Jason are like their only strong players at this point, but I think playoffs is basically out of their reach. Same with Vertigo. These are the two teams we probably won't see in playoffs. So, you know.
I think I kind of feel really bad for Dad because
he got put in a bad situation. I don't think it's his fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah, like it was originally just gonna be like a trade for Ant for Lechuga, and then they didn't want to trade Lechuga. And then because Lechuga was very 50-50 on wanting to join, so she just decided to stay. And then I said like, because I knew I was gonna be like kind of starved for players, so I told Dad that because he offered me Slaney instead, I told him if I need anyone else for Ant, I'll come back to you and say like, hey, can you give me this person? Because then it'll technically be a trade because I give him Ant and then for free, and then he's gonna give me something for free. And then we managed to convince Lechuga to join, and then Lechuga joined. So like I got the trade that I wanted, and then Dad probably wasn't very happy about that because he really wanted to keep Lechuga. And then like the day after that, Ant messages us and asks to join back because it's not the team that he originally wanted to join.
Yeah, I mean, Ant did this exact same thing in HL. I feel like trying to trade for Ant is like getting yourself in dangerous water because you don't know if he's going to leave your team or not. Like,
you have to be. Ant is a very special case. I love him, but you have to do something. You have to be special with Ant.
Yeah, Powerhouse was kind of doomed from the start there. I forgot, Maddie, the original manager, just kind of built a team that wasn't that good, and they just sat on the roster trying to force it to work for 4 to 5 weeks, and then they just dipped and gave it and said, "Okay, Dad, it's your problem now." And I mean, God bless Dad. He tried his best. He actually almost made it work, but at this point, it's just a lost cause.
Yeah, dude, it's like a child. Yeah, I get heated when there's like, this isn't like a knock on staff or anything, but I just get heated when there are bad managers. Like, it's just like, I just get so upset when there's bad managers. Like, you signed up, you were selected for this job, like you should have been like made aware of like what your responsibility is.
Well,
like and then like you go and you do this, like it's not a normal team, it's a draft team. It's a lot more mobile. Like, a lot more. There's a lot of moving parts. Not like
especially with the novice managers. I think like
7
like,
out of 8 are
four of the
gone.
6 have like actually
Oh.
gone, and Alianos also like
Left a
Alianos
little
had
bit,
personal reasons
yeah.
for leaving, but like some of them are like I think Ghost said like I didn't understand like the time thresholds, and it's like what? I mean,
You signed
I
up for
personally
it.
don't think I don't think EU players should get manager. Obviously, I don't want to
Wow.
gatekeep it, but
honestly,
I mean,
like
that makes sense. I mean,
I think people like don't
Yeah.
like expect it to be as much work as it is,
Yeah.
and then like their team like starts going down, and they're like, I don't have the drive to work on this. I barely have the time, and they leave, and it's kind of like their team's screwed, or
yeah.
to some extent.
I mean, there are the newer managers. The only one that actually hasn't done poorly in advanced is Quake, but apparently he's just.
And Survey
AFK.
manages that team.
Yeah, but TRG has had the worst team for the whole season. Now it's probably Powerhouse, but that's for completely different reasons.
I think that's more on TRG's scouting than like understanding the requirements, because
Yeah.
like TRG
even
is
then-
doing his
even
job.
then-
He's just doing it really poorly.
Okay.
And every
Even
interaction
then,
I've had with TRG,
knowing that your team is bad and knowing that you messed up in scouting, you have to try and fix it. They haven't tried to fix it. They traded, who was it, Ryu for LPN and Monty. LPN is not. I hate knocking on the guy, but he isn't really a great flex support, and Monty's just a downgrade from Ryu. Obviously, Ryu probably wanted out from that team, but you could have gotten a lot more for him than those two.
every interaction I've had with TRG has been very positive. Like, they're a super nice person.
I don't think TRG's a bad. I don't think he's a bad manager. He just didn't expect what a draft what this league is. And that's why I'm not a fan of newcomer managers. Like,
Yeah.
I get the purpose of having newcomer managers. It's like grow the community and all. I really don't agree with it. I don't think it's a very smart choice. I think you're setting your league or that team up for failure when you have a newcomer manager.
Especially when
Like-
they kind of don't understand the system
Yeah, they
very
don't-
well.
They don't. This was a while ago, but I was like getting heated. I was like running out paragraphs on like managers and shits, like what their responsibilities are, and if you're signing up, they need to be made like very aware of these, like the differences between a draft team and a normal team. And
Yeah.
like
He's running
TRG
draft.
isn't a good scout, but he's. I was just thinking about how it's
He's
funny
not
that
he's not a
Powerhouse.
bad guy. He's a very
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how it's funny that Powerhouse exploded before Vertigo. Like TRG, he's not a bad manager. He just wasn't prepared. And like for managing a draft league team, I definitely think being in a draft league community for a while definitely helps. And like actually having experience on a team. Like I wrote that I feel like players that were in draft teams before and that've been there for a while are definitely better candidates than managers than like a GGNA manager or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
I
just my
mean,
thoughts.
Vertigo, to be fair, compared to Powerhouse, Vertigo has a lot of newer players, newer relative.
Well, newer to League Zero.
Yeah. I mean, you have on Powerhouse, you had Lechuga, Jason, just the people who left kind of have been around in draft leagues, mainly Akimbo. Akimbo just got burnt out. That's just kind of unfortunate timing for them.
Yeah.
But
Lilac and Lechuga been in draft leagues before Akimbo.
Lechuga was
Yeah.
Quark on Yoink, and then Lilac was on a double. He was drafted to double cap. And
Yeah, they
and
picked up
they
a
were
ton
on
of
CDC
veterans.
as well. But like, you have freaking
I just
Bobby
realized it was
Shawarma.
just
I mean,
BC and
Laser was
all
in Flux Cup, but I don't believe he was in. Was he in L0 last season?
Who?
No.
Laser.
No, he was in Flux Cup on Stealth.
Yeah, he was. I know he was on Flux Cup, and that was a very positive experience for him because he was considered one of the better players in that league. But
I think they just banned a lot of players too. Also,
yeah, that too.
Yeah, they banned half the fucking league.
Yeah, but I also think I don't think the skill gap between League Zero and Flux Cup is that different. It's not that funny.
Yeah, it's just really not that funny.
That's my sister.
I honestly disagree. I think Flux Cup
Caitlin,
honestly
shut the
was on
fuck up!
lower skill kinda. I think Flux Cup was a lower skill league compared to Advanced this season, just generally
Well,
because of the
yeah,
players who
definitely.
were on the roster.
I think it was, but not that big. The difference.
I mean, if you look at some of the rosters and look at some of the players,
Okay.
you see like
Seth.
I don't want to name any names. I'll just DM them to you because I
Okay,
don't
Seth.
want to be.
Okay. Take the best Flux Cup team, Stellar
Okay.
Stalwarts, and then you put them in League Zero, and then you have the best players from Stellar on the League Zero team, and they're fucking bottom tier.
Yeah,
and they're
those two
probably
come to
worse
mind,
than some
though.
players that are in the division lower than them. Like
Yeah.
What about Blueprint, man?
Blueprints, rest in peace, Blueprints, man.
Rest in peace.
Trigger was the best break in the league.
Actually, though.
Okay, well, I think that wraps it up.
Wait, can I just say my prediction for Vertigo?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I predict they're up 2-0, then Cannon locks Hog, and then they just get spawn camped. Powerhouse gets spawn camped because Cannon decides to just take over.
Cannon just
I don't even
whips
think
out his
Powerhouse
massive
is playing.
penis, slaps it on the table, and says, "Powerhouse, you're gonna be dominated."
Cannon is 14.
Okay, I
Okay,
think that
okay, I take those words back. Can we cut that out?
Accurate. Sorry, I'll ping him in general right now so you know what to do.
Yo, for real? I don't even think Powerhouse is gonna get 6 players for this. I think they might actually forfeit.
They're gonna pull a Valhalla. Basically.
I think
What?
that they're just gonna.
I don't even know what that means, and I was on Valhalla.
You
Oh
guys
yeah,
fucking-
getting ringers.
Yeah,
Getting ringers,
you
yeah.
literally had nothing.
Oh, yeah. I think Powerhouse will struggle to get 6. Like,
It'll be entertaining though. Battle of the basement and whatnot.
This is a toilet bowl brawl, but Vertigo's gonna win.
Whoever wins is legally allowed to leave.
yeah, if your basement was
This is the
If your basement
gulag
was
fight
flooding-
of League Zero teams, basically.
if your basement was flooding, Powerhouse would currently be drowning, and Vertigo would be maybe dry.
Vertigo's just standing on the stairs.
Their ankles in the
For
water.
official example of the basement.
Vertigo is standing on the stairs looking at Powerhouse try to swim. Vertigo is about to
not
take a
swimming.
wire. They're about to take a wire and put it into the water.
That may
That's
just
gonna
happen.
happen this Sunday.
Holy shit! Vertigo was the imposter.
Vertigo's gonna murder Powerhouse in cold blood.
Okay,
And
here's the hot
It's not even gonna be
take.
a joke. It's just gonna be murder.
Wait,
What is your hot
can we get a little special segment called hot takes? Okay.
Only for
We
Vertigo.
have
Only for
not
me.
enough time for that, unfortunately.
Okay, well I don't care. Vertigo's gonna after they beat Powerhouse, they're just gonna go on a fucking rampage and 3-0 fucking everyone. Okay, they're gonna 3-0. Who the fuck do they even play? I don't know, but they're gonna 3-0
Tokyo, I
them.
believe.
Platchat.
They're gonna 3-0 Tokyo Platchat, and they play us. They're gonna 3-0 us.
I
Okay?
predict that after the game, Cannon is gonna say something in general chat that gets him striked.
Okay.
That's my-
They play Powerhouse. They 3-0 Powerhouse. Okay. And then they play who the fuck? They play Platchat. They're gonna spawn camp Platchat with Cannon on Hog, and they're gonna play us. And then Laser is just gonna whip out his fucking massive fucking body. Better you thought I was gonna say penis. And then he's gonna spawn camp us as well. That's just how it's gonna work. That's just what the script says.
Trigger, are you okay, man?
You are nuts.
No, I'm just not.
Alrighty,
Alright, nuts, man.
I think we just finish off here.
Yeah, thank you,
this is-
RMM.
Yeah.
Thank you, RMM.
If any of you have anything to say, just as parting words, go ahead, say it.
Platchat number 1.
I'm sorry that I scammed you. I'm sorry, Monty. I sent you to Brazil.
My least
Yeah,
favorite person
and
on
I
Overcharged
apologize.
is it's Cannon.
What the
Cannon's
fuck?
not on Overcharged.
He's not on
No!
Overcharge. Oh.
You're
What
just
happened?
lying.
Folks.
Cannon is still on Overcharged. He's central. Muhahaha.
Oh no
Holy
way.
shit! What the fuck?
Alrighty.
Holy
Yeah. Thank
guacamole.
you three once again. It was a-
Bye, RMM.
yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the expert part of the countdown. My name is Puda Scooter. I'm joined here with Adbon.
Hello.
Mkey.
I'm Bakanje, what's up?
And Infected.
Hello.
Alright, moving on to the first game. It was Z9 versus Chengdu. The player of the match was Vexy, and Z9 won 3-1. Mkey, can you just discuss like what happened during the game and
So we picked up Vexy because we did need like a second DPS that we were like confident in, and we did know that Vexy and Peter were both really just like their best heroes, like mostly aligned in snipers. So we figured out that like we could run this like Wakanje and Dashi tank line, and just have them run the Sig Hog. And those are two heroes that, again, they're both really comfortable on. And Marquis is also really good on Ana, and I could just play Mercy, right? So we were testing out that comp on scrims. We tested it with Ball too, and we just like we messed around with it a lot just to like figure out what works. And we figured that like if we had an opportunity to run it, which was on third map, which was Route 66, I think. No, it wasn't that. It was Rialto. So we decided like, okay, this is a good opportunity. We can maybe run it here. So we decided we put in Dashi for Juice, and we just ran that comp. And like we also did scrim on meta, so we did decent on that. But like I think going into that we were prepared that like that's definitely a viable option. Like we also prepared like we could have Redux there if he was there too. And like I think after King's Row we were stuck on meta, and we decided like okay, we need to change it maybe. And then once we got on that comp with the double sniper, I think we started rolling a little bit.
Yeah, I do have to say that I watched the VOD back and it was a pretty, not dominant per se, but kind of dominant for the past 2 maps. But then again, Chengdu had Fireclaw in for Moira and Genie in for Projectile, right?
Yeah.
And that's
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I can't blame them for that. They did have a lot of people off-rolling at the time, and even I remember on Rialto they even had Adam on flex support, because I don't think Fireclaw played Ana. So they had Adam on flex support, so it was probably pretty rough for them. But what they did like try to mirror our comp a lot, but I just think that like I don't know if they had any practice on the comp like we did, so I think that we were better off in the 1v1 with that comp, and we kind of like forced them to swap onto it, so it really worked out for us in the end. And that like might have been something they weren't comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's all about that game. Let's move on to the next game, which was a thriller of a game, which is Love Muffin versus Easy Clap. This went to 6 maps. The player of the match was Eok, and the honorable mention was Lupical. I personally wasn't there, so I can't give the Love Muffin side of the game. But we do have Infected here to tell us about the Easy Clap side of the game. Infected can just tell us like what happened during the game, how you guys prepared, and what you guys thought during the game.
So coming into it, we were actually pretty confident, because everybody thought we were going to get rolled because we got 3-0 by Z9 the previous week. But we knew coming into it that we were going to do really good against them, we thought. And then the first 2 maps, we just basically rolled them. I don't really know what else to say. We just kept the momentum off the first map, and we just did very well. And then the third map, we got really sloppy, because the 2 maps leading up before were both brawl maps, and I think we were out brawling them, to be honest. And then it was Gibraltar, and they just outdived us.
Yeah.
So Gibraltar, they just played way better than us, and we got very sloppy on attack. We didn't play good. Temple of Anubis was a draw map, and it was way closer than we thought. There was a bunch of little mistakes we did, but we definitely played way better. But I think everybody's mentals were still doing good there. And then we thought we were about to win, but then we drew it, which kind of sucked. But then we were going to go to Nepal. And then during that, everybody was still really confident. We were always confident throughout our matches. And there was just so much times during that map and also other maps that we were 1 fight away from winning the series, and we just couldn't pull through. So we lost that map really close. We were up like 199, and they were 0-0, and we still lost. And then the 6th map, it was another control. I'm trying to think. Busan. 6th map was Busan. We ended up doing really good on downtime with our dive, and then we tried going poke for both other maps. I can't think of the name. The drum map and Mecha Base. And we just lost those 2 because I think they outpoked us. And then also, which really sucked, is my PC was having problems during it, like during near the end, because it was such a long game. But to be honest, I think Lupical was really good. I think that's one of the big reasons why we lost. His Ana is really good. And they just outpoked us.
Yeah.
That's really it. We were really sad after. We were so sad.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like another reason why you guys won the first 2 maps was because Blue is a lot more comfortable on Monkey than Reinhardt, which is completely opposite of me. So if we have him on Monkey, I'm very confident that we could like win a lot, but on Reinhardt it's kind of getting iffy because his Reinhardt is not as good as his Monkey, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then we also had Toasty in, which honestly I rate Toasty very highly. If we didn't have Eok in, Toasty would 100% start. Toasty is a very good off tank. And then Eok hit scan. Very interesting. His bomb saved the game actually. During the last fight, yeah. The last fight he got 2 with Pulse, which saved the series for us.
I remember during that moment too. Like I was playing Monkey. I went into their backline and primaled your Ana, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a huge pick. And I look at the kill feed and sees 2. I'm like, damn, that's probably it.
Yeah. I feel like the reason why we won was just because of, I would say, individual skill more than synergy. Because we had Jewel taking off a lot of people as Widowmaker. I remember seeing a lot of that in Soldier.
Yeah.
Eok played as Tracer. That's fine. And then Lupical on the Ana, he's cracked.
In my opinion, I think Lupical should have gotten player of the match, but the Eok Tracer is just too good.
I think
I think
did really good on the Soldier on like the last few maps. I remember.
Yeah,
I think Easy Clap needs to get a new main support because the DFA ain't it, Chief.
Well, that's the problem with that. Our actual like main support starter is Zane, and we were supposed to have our new flex support Caesar Salad come, but he was working the shift at Olive Garden.
Oh, Caesar Salad's coming in?
Yeah, he was supposed to join, but then he just didn't join the VC.
Oh, okay.
I think, I'm not trying to make excuses, but if I think we had him, it would have not been as close. Maybe map 5. I don't think it would have gotten to map 6 though.
Yeah. Well,
because we've been practicing with him all week leading up to that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, it was a really close game. Both teams played really, really well. And let's move on to the next game, which is Newt and San Francisco Glock. The play of the match was flawless, and the scoreline was 3-2 favored in Newt. Adbon, can you just give your side of the game and just like talk about it?
So going to the first few maps or whatever, like the first 2 maps that we lost, we started off pretty well, just playing as we should, and we ended up losing first map 1-2, but we started off like, man, we can actually do this even without client like playing there, helping to direct us. Then King's Row was kind of just a massive Pepega, and we fucking hard tilted like after that map was over, down 0-2. But we managed to get client and Swift in, and that turned it pretty heavily into our favor. Like going into Dorado, even though Pascal tried his best to just deadlift SFG to a victory, it wasn't quite able to, because we ended up full holding them on Dorado and then full holding them on Volskaya like immediately after that map. Of course, in between that, we had the situation that happened with Swift, but we don't worry about that. But going into the 5th map, we started off going down 0-1 because we were expecting Glock to run poke, and I was in no position to help my team on the first fight on Sombra, which I think is like the main reason we lost that round, because Jazz was just able to farm EMP faster on the first fight and just cycle ults better. But second point, Busan, we played really well. Joshua kind of soft through by not shattering the rest of our team after Flawless got hacked, instead of just, solo shattering client. And then
I remember seeing that, yeah.
Flawless was able to shatter both DPS, and I EMP'd like 3 or whatever, and we ended up winning that round. And then the final round was kind of just a roll in our favor. They just didn't play well at all. I think our comp was played better, and our positioning was just better on final round. I think they'd gotten boomed at that point, on the verge of getting reverse swept, and just weren't playing well. But it ended up working out really well. Swift actually did something for once instead of just feeding his brains out. and client is a monster, so client just did whatever the fuck he wanted, and we ended up pulling it out in the reverse sweep.
Yeah, I actually wasn't there for that, but can you just tell me what happened with Swift? Because this is the first time that I've heard of it.
Oh, there is some misunderstood context of something Swift said in chat. I'm pretty sure, like, Dez, like, Designs or whatever, one of the rule keepers, said something like, I support trans rights in, like, all chat. And Swift was responding to something else that someone said, but it appeared right after he said, Dez said that, and it said, I don't. So, so that was no bueno. Swift almost got striked and just removed from the game, like, being suspended for 2 maps. So that was certainly, interesting, but that's what ended up happening. But he didn't get striked, so he ended up playing it out, and we took the W.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to get striked on. Yeah. So let's move on to the predictions, which is Newt versus Easy Clap. Most people.
Easy Clap's got this so easy. Oh my god.
I kind of do want to make it a 3-1 instead of a 3-0. But I trust Newt to just not give up a map. But if they do give up a map, I won't be surprised. I would be surprised if it was a 3-2 though. 100% surprised. I would rate Easy Clap a lot higher if they were.
I think Easy Clap could take a map. Just on like, just looking how Glock was against them first 2 maps, and those were mostly brawl maps that they won them on. So if like maybe say like Klein isn't there for like a map, I think Easy Clap could take it if it's more of a brawl sided map, because like just like their brawl comps have been pretty good. Just like with Recto, Recto's been doing really good on the Reaper and those comps too. Effective you're doing good. I think you guys work really well together on the brawl comps. It's like compared.
Yeah. MK,
your mic is interesting right now.
All I heard was just an air tunnel. I don't know. That's an interesting take, considering that Newt's best comp is also brawl.
Yeah, is it good? Is it better now?
Yeah, your mic's better now.
Yeah.
So, I feel like though, like Newt's best comp might be the brawl comp, but I think it is possible. Just like maybe like a TCP or something where they might be able to like take something off, especially if Newt is down like a starter or 2.
Don't worry, Klein's gonna troll us by not being there for the 4th week in a row.
Yeah, he's too good at it.
He's too good at it.
Fine, if you're watching this, don't show up.
Please do. I don't want to have to fucking Pepega for the 4th week in a row. That's just not it, G.
Well,
but no, don't you remember what happened last time we played Easy Clap? I'm gonna break out the soldier and get another 18,000 damage game.
We don't have to. We don't have to break up that.
I think we do actually.
No.
Infected is gonna DDoS client, man.
Yeah.
What do we do now? What do we do?
He's hacking in right now. Don't worry.
He's getting the internet down.
I really think though that I really think. Okay. We're right now after that loss in the 6-map series. We're trying as hard as we've done as I think as the start of the season. Like we're all putting so much effort into this next match, and just as a team in general. So I think there's a chance that there's a chance.
Yeah, like I want Easy Clap to win a game. I really, really want them to. I don't want any team to go winless.
We need to watch Un Gallo con muchos huevos.
Listen, Client probably won't be there. I think Client, if Client isn't there, we still have a very good chance of just winning anyway. Just because we're better at brawl. But Client's probably gonna troll.
There, an X-Runner.
Yeah, X-Runner's gated. But Client's probably gonna troll us. Probably not gonna be there. You guys will like take a map or 2, and then Client will show up, and then we'll be like, oh, this is actually really fucking easy, isn't it? And then we'll just roll 3 maps in a row.
That's like how all your matches go, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I think to be honest, even with Client, it might be a different story. I still think that there's a big chance of you guys winning, but I think we're gonna make it way closer. Maybe even win. There's a chance.
To be fair, I was pretty surprised when you like even with like a slightly skillful Love Muffin roster, I did not think that you guys could take that to like a map 5, let alone a map 6. That was like way closer than I think most people expected. So I think maybe there's like some surprises for Easy Clap down the road.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best thing I can say then would just be good luck.
I also just want to go back to that. When Love Muffin and Easy Clap played, and I realized that I wasn't going to be there, and Target wasn't going to be there, I was thinking to myself, "Oh, we're going to give Easy Clap their first win." Immediately, when I heard that Target wasn't going to be there. But I'm glad that we brought it. I don't know. It was a really just bad situation for Easy Clap.
The funniest thing was Recto was like practicing his Widowmaker so hard in every single scrim just to be ready for target acquired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember we skimmed you guys and you were like, "Yo, can you guys go Utopia?"
Yeah.
That was good. We played Widow in Lijiang Control Center. It was beautiful. The target acquired special.
I think we did prove this week though that that Z9 match isn't just us being bad though. Like that was just a bad day. We're still gonna get a win. I think.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the next match, which is San Francisco Glock versus Z9. We all think that Glock is going to win. Some 3-1, some 3-2. I just want to go over this, that Ultra will more than likely play this week. They're going to have Bakanje.
Yes.
And then also they're going to have Peter, Vexy, then MKey, and you're bringing in a new support, AJMR, or Boss
We do have a new flex support, yeah. So we have been scrimming a little bit with them. We haven't gotten a lot of time with Ultra, but I think with our new roster, it's going to be really interesting how we fare up against Glock. And I think with our new roster, our poke comp with like the SIG, I think that I'm like fairly confident that like if we were on a map where that's like a dominant comp, I think we could definitely take a map or two. And especially because we get map choices. If we lose a map, that's like I'm pretty confident we could do that.
I don't know, dude.
I think usually Glock might just win in the brawl. We haven't been screaming brawl a lot, to be fair. So I think that if Glock could win, if Glock wins, they would win it with the brawl. So it's because I think like just overall they look really synergized with the brawl and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Their poke is pretty fucking good.
Their poke didn't win a map.
I mean, we lost 2 maps to their poke, so I don't know what you mean, but whatever.
It was on King's Row. Didn't they play Brawl too on that map?
They played Brawl on Attack. They played Poke on literally every single other map, except for Control Center Lijiang, because you can't play Poke on Control Center Lijiang.
I really think Z9's gonna do really good.
Yeah, I think
so. I think
Zen,
Glock should be. I think it's gonna be really close.
Dude, I don't know. Pascal Zen isn't fair. If he beat me in a 1v1 when I had Sound Barrier.
Okay,
I'm morally obligated to appraise Pascal because he told me to. He is the man. To be fair, maybe a woman. I don't even know. He's the man. And also, I need to praise Bakanje Sigma. Bakanje Sigma is
it one trick. It was one trick.
Yeah.
I thought Bakanje's one trick with Lucio.
Dude, the best moment was on Hanamura last week against Chengdu when it was just him and Dashi, and he was just like they killed 5 by themselves, dude. That was like a dope moment of Bakanje Sigma. I won't lie.
Yeah. I also do have to give an obligatory thing to their new flex support. His Discord is AJMR, which is what I'm just gonna call him.
Yeah.
I've known him for a very long time. Like, very, very long. And we tried him out and Lupical for the team because I suggested him to actually go into League 0. And we, as a team, decided to pick up Lupical instead of him, even though I wanted him instead. But I do have to say he's really, really goated. He actually just reached 4.45, if I remember correctly, which is absolutely insane.
He just passed Basilisk's peak.
Yeah.
He's just a better player.
Imagine not being 3.5.
Yeah. I imagine not being 4K.
Okay.
Alright. Let's move on to the last game, which is Love Muffin versus Chengdu. In fact, in an Adball, I think that Chengdu is going to win 3-2, but MK thinks that Love Muffin is going to win 3-2.
I'm ready to listen to Pooter's hot take.
I just thought everyone else said Chengdu is going to win 3-2, so I'm like, maybe, just maybe. And I just thought I'd give him a chance on it. And I do think it's definitely possible. Like, considering how we did against them. Like, even though they might have been down Bun, I still think that considering how we did on our comp, like, I feel like if Love Muffin could, I think Love Muffin definitely could do it. Especially like how they play against us usually is like targeted quad swapping off and like whole teams like playing together and stuff. Like there is a lot of like there's a lot of good parts on Love Muffin, and I think that I do see a world that Love Muffin could win it in 3-2.
Yeah, I do have to say that we're preparing, like, not that much scrimming, because not a lot of people have a lot of time this week. Like, Target is still moving into college. He's going to be ready for the game, though. But we're basically preparing mentally. We're doing some duos, like, in comp. We're doing this, we're doing that. And it's mainly just going to be us. I don't know how to... I feel like it's going to be very, very close. I would say that it would be a 3-1 favor to us, just because of bias. But Chengdu is still a very, very good team. We respect them, and we're just waiting for the game to see how we could prove ourselves from losing to them week 2.
I really think that this game could go either way.
Yeah.
I think it depends on whether or not they have to play Genie Fireclaw again.
Yeah, that was,
Because if they do, they kind of just lose, because, well, you know, Genie's gonna try and ego me for saying this, but, yeah, Genie, you fucking suck at DPS.
Yeah, I think if they had...
To be fair, honestly, to be fair, he really was not that bad. Coming from an enemy standpoint, he wasn't that bad. There are definitely, like, more noticeable things that we punished on, like, definitely more than Genie.
Fireclaw Moira in it, but...
in it.
I think if Chengdu has everybody on their actual roles, and then Zero and Bun are there, I think they'll pull it out.
Yeah,
I think you guys are gonna bring it to the brink, though. I think it's gonna be really close.
I think that if both teams are at full strength, it's definitely like I could go either way.
Yeah.
The most abusable part of their team is Ducky, because Ducky is not a very good off tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the tank line hasn't been like amazing, like as of recent. I think.
Yeah,
but I think with both Zero and Bun there, they both know what they're doing, and Genie does as well, and Adam. Yeah, they all really know what they're doing, and I think that if they're all together, then I think Ducky and Matt or Fireclaw can work really well.
Yeah, like Matt and Ducky haven't really impressed since like week 2.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just been downhill from there.
Yeah, but then again, their 2 losses have been from a forfeit and from having players on off rolls.
Yeah, but they almost lost to Newts when we had me playing off tank.
And then also Easy Clap when they didn't have Matthew. Week 1.
Yeah.
No, they had Matthew.
No, he was there. He wasn't there for the first map, and then the second map he was there, but...
Oh, yeah, the first... Yeah.
Like the first game. And then we just don't talk about our game against Chengdu. It's fine.
Wasn't it like a 3-0?
It was a 3-1. It was a 3-1, but... Yeah. I think that's about it. Do you guys have any final words, Admon?
Easy Clap's not winning. I'm sorry, Infected. It's just not happening.
Okay, listen. I'm about to MTD Flawless.
It's impossible to MTD Flawless, and I'm gonna be the one playing.
Don't make Infected get involved. He will end you.
Exactly. Nah. To be honest, I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna be able to get a map or 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be real.
Win?
I don't think we're. Well, there's a chance they're gonna win. I'm not 100% on it.
Yeah, I think the problem is I think Newt is probably mechanically a way better team, but like that's where there's a lot of differences when you're just looking at mechanics, and if you're looking at other parts, which I think in this meta the other parts is way more important than the mechanics. So I do see a world where Infected booms flawless. Maybe an alternate world, but there is a world somewhere.
Yeah,
at least it's a world.
I think the pace and like mental of the team is just gonna be decided on whether or not Client will troll us.
Yeah.
To be honest, our team doesn't get mad easily during games, so I think that also be a
We don't normally get mad during games.
Oh no! Oh, wait, I didn't mean to refer to that.
Kings Row.
Kings Row, Megalol.
Kings Row. Alright. MK, do you have any final words?
I don't know. Am I dying?
I was
Yes.
thinking about. I was thinking about that when I said it, but
Your mic was dying earlier.
yeah.
Oh.
MK, do
Okay.
you have any closing statements? There we go.
Oh, closing statement?
Yes.
Oh, I had this in English last year. I don't have it with me, no.
All right. Infected, do you have any closing statements?
I already said mine.
All right. Mine is watch the games this weekend. It's going to be very, very close. I would say each game has a chance to be an upset or a roll.
No Megalol.
Also
Okay.
watch the games this week, not last week. 'Cause that was...
Good. Subscribe.
Subscribe to League Zero.
Follow at Aimbot Joe on Twitter.
Yeah, download that crit hit for $10. You gotta sponsor Nate.
Use code.
Oh wait,
Zoomer
what? I may
on
do that.
Use
Oh.
code infected to get 30% off G Fuel.
No, that offer is not included. Not sponsored by League Zero Countdown.
Wouldn't it be sponsored by G Fuel, not League Zero Countdown?
Maybe we could get dividing. Hold
Sponsored by.
Wait, you're. All right. See you guys next week.